Hey, Sassy fam, welcome to your Thursday check-in. I hope you're well. I hope you are fabulous. You guys, I'm just in that space of a happy sort of tired, better said a happy sort of exhausted. But yeah, it's good though. It's good and it's for reasons that you might expect. I mean, I'm in that space now where I'm trying to make the pieces of my life flow together. So we're putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into the work endeavors, of course. And then I need to see how those pieces are going to flow and fit into the other areas of my life, which are equally important, such as, taking care of my kid, my house, and of course, the time I spend with you all. Some of those pieces are lining up quite well. And in other areas, it's like there's friction. And that's okay. This is what it's like when we're trying to accommodate a new workflow, pace, or just energies. But so, like I said, it's a happy sort of exhausted, absolutely no complaints on my part. It's one of those things, my biggest obligation at this time really is to allow for the organic process to flow so that my new rhythm can be established and born pretty effectively. And then also knowing when and where and how things are firming up. So we can continue to find our rhythm and our stride. So, gosh, yeah, there you go. Like I said, no complaints. Okay, what's going on? This is the last week for Capricorn season. So to all my beautiful Capricorns out there whose birthday's already passed, I hope it was splendorous, fun, and fantastical. And for those of you, final round for your birthdays upcoming. I hope you have something lovely planned for yourself or planned for you. Either way, it's all good. And then we enter Aquarius season this Sunday. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge the California fires, specifically the LA fires and the surrounding territories of LA. There's a lot of things I don't bring up towards the channel because this is not a news channel. This is not a kind of commentary channel about reflecting on things that are happening in the world. Yes, I have thoughts. Yes, I have opinions. And then I'm always up against that wall that says, what is this channel about? So there's a lot of things simply I don't speak to or feel that I shouldn't. And I make that decision all the time. But there's one thing I really, I cannot abide, and that real human suffering and loss. That should always be acknowledged, which is one of the reasons why I'm not too shy with the death card. Like in tarot, just like in real life, I want to acknowledge what's there. It's one of the biggest insults to the human existence is to act like nothing's going on, or that people aren't hurt or suffering, or that they're not experiencing real loss. If you've seen that work from me before, you know what I do. I acknowledge it. So when I see something like Hurricane Helene, Milton, when I see something like the LA fires that are still raging, perhaps it's a little better as of today, as I do these a couple of days before, I want to acknowledge what's real and what's happening. So for those of you who experience loss, I'm sorry. For those of you who've experienced the loss of your homes, I'm sorry. And on my end of things, I do what I can, and I encourage you all to do the same if you're able to. Whatever that means to you. Donations are always wonderful. Volunteering, even if you can't directly volunteer, I find one of the best ways for me to feel actively engaged is just to volunteer my time. It has to be around the area that's local to me, yes, of course. But it still satisfies or soothes something in me that suggests I'm not helpless. And even if it's just an idea that sits with you, I hope the best for those folks in California, and that's where we get the idea of thoughts and prayers. And so be it. It's called collective energy, I suppose. Every little bit helps. Anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge those folks who have been caught up in the LA fires, and it's fairly extensive. Okay. What are we doing today? Celtic Cross, of course. Like always with Celtic Cross and all readings here that you see, take what resonates, leave what does not. If there's more than one energy clearly apparent to you that I personally did not see or call out or speak to on this reading today, then you feel free to reverse those energies as you see fit. These are, after all, general collective readings, not one-to-one private, which is to say they may not resonate at all, which I know is frustrating, but it's also normal. Check your other placements. If that is the case, you will find yourself in there somewhere. What else? Let's see, we did Capricorn. Okay, sorry, I'm still feeling the kind of heaviness, but again, it's important to me to trust it. If you understood my background a little better, perhaps you might understand why it's important to me to acknowledge these transformative periods here that we're seeing. It's just something that is true to my character, and I always try to lean into that trait as opposed to away from it because it's not comfortable for me, but I can only go so far into it. I am aware of what this platform is for. Okay, but still, I'm a human, and I want you to know I have my own personal processes. All right, that's that. You guys, let's see. What are we doing? We should have some shorts coming up. And yes, I will be doing a video. I know I dropped the ball on this one. I mentioned at some point, let's call it last year, because that wasn't too long ago. That wasn't too long ago that I would do a video covering my favorite crystals and showing that to you up close and probably ASMR style. Yeah, no, that's still on the slate. I promise. That is coming up. I've been looking forward to that one. I have a modest crystal collection, nice pieces as well that I wear. Yeah, but that is coming up. It's in the works, okay? We have a couple of things that are in the works. Anyway, you guys, I will see you at your sign. Take care. Be well. Leo, you're up first. What's going on, please? Show me, Leo. What's going on for Leo? What's up? Death. Okay, straight away, right in that opening. Oh my goodness. Crossing, 5 of Wands. Okay, I hear you. Crowning the world. Yes, you are making that point extremely clear. All right, pass, 5 of Cups. Yeah. Exiting, 3 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands before you in future. Strengths, the Knights of Wands. Yeah, that's like you. Ace of Cups is in your environment. Big telltale right there. Okay, hopes and fears the Fool. I know, new beginnings can be scary, yes. We'll get back to that. But open, 7 of Cups in the outcome, honey. What can I tell you? You have a fantastic story arc here today. Now, having said that, it's very easy for me to look at this, read it. Okay, going back to the opening, I understand for some of you what's going on. And this is going to be very limited edition. This one's either for you or it's not. It's epic, and it's an epic story that's winding up. But you're living it, and that doesn't necessarily mean you perceive it that way or you feel it that way. When you're in it is when you're in it. And it might seem like there's no end in sight, but you are determined to close a chapter out in your life, and it's happening. It's happening, and frankly, honey, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, it looks like it wants to be closed out. Okay? So let it be. So shall it too pass. Okay? The Death and the 5 of Wands, you know, we have a challenge here. Something's ending. Let's make that very clear. It's on your mind, and it's in your present day energies, spiritual, emotional, and physical energies. They're all here. And there is resistance to the ending, and you're like, no. So there is opposition there with the 5 of Wands. It's not holding up well. Because what are you going to do? You know, I say all the time, you get to choose your own level of participation. This is no different. If you say something's over and someone says, I beg to differ, and you're like, I refuse to play along with your difference. I said it's over. There's really not much to challenge here. You're right. That was your level of participation, and that you no longer want to participate in this. Keep it going, maintaining it, whatever. It's done. It's like there's really no point in arguing. So that 5 of Wands is feeling very external to you. That's not an internal fight. You're past that. Okay, this is an external disagreement, and it can't hold up to death. You know. Yeah. I mean, again, this doesn't have to be romantic. People often take into that space because that tends to be what's most pressing in their energies. This could be anything where you understand you no longer wish to make yourself present in a situation, a place, a circumstance, or yes, possibly in the context of someone else. I do know that 5 of Wands is external, and it disagrees with your decision. And you're like, that's too bad, because this is happening. The world is crowning you. This has been on your mind. You want to close this out. You acknowledge that this is done. You acknowledge that this is like the way of the dinosaurs. It had its time. It did have its time. But we also know how that particular story turned out. You're like, this needs to be closed out. You have a lot of experience here. 5 of Cups in the past. You're saying it's all but pain. It's nothing but pain and disappointment and sadness and loss and regret, and it's with you constantly. So just to clarify, 5 of Cups in the past does not mean it's over. That means you have experience with it. And depending on where you are, that experience is still playing out in present day or is something that you are familiar with? For you, it's a little bit of both. You're saying, I know what this feels like based on previous experiences, and also, P.S., this ongoing sense of emotional disappointment and sadness, it never ends here. That's why death is imminent and the world is imminent. It's been on your mind for a minute. You acknowledge the cycle. It's right up here. And with that world, though, you've already started pointing out to me aspects of, the adage, the saying, honey. When the door closes, another one opens. That's already made an impression upon you as well. So while you are trying to close this thing out, you've already started opening your mind in a completely different direction. A new beginning for you, full stop, whichever that means. We'll get to that. 3 of Pentacles is exiting. Now that means for sure it's exiting. It's on its way out. There's something here. I'm not even reading that as friendship. No. Whatever this is, you can't even cooperate with it at all. You are adverse to cooperating with it. You are adverse to building into it, even in the smallest of ways. You're like, I can't even constructively speak about putting myself into this anymore. Not even in not even a page, nothing. It's out. Okay? So 3 of Pentacles here is in friendship. Not at all. 3 of Pentacles is one of the few Pentacle cards that becomes extremely flexible in its meaning depending on what we put into it. And here we have the basic sense of, this is bare minimum what you can expect from me. This is where we get the concept, again, of cooperation, learning to work with somebody, even if it's just a little bit. And you're like, no, I won't even do a 3 of Pentacles job with you. I'm not going to even pretend to get along with you. Dang. 8 of Wands before future, you'd be talking. What you're talking about, I don't know. Possibly you're intense. That would be my first guess. Because there's a lot of material in here. At some point, you're going to open up and talk about it. Where it goes, where that 8 of Wands lands, it could be one direction, it could be multiple directions. But again, given what I'm seeing here, communication is the finalization, I believe, of what I'm seeing, your actions. This is final. This is what's happening. This is what's going on with me. This is what's up. This is where I've been. This is what I'm trying to close out. Yes, it's sorry. Yes, it's regrettable. It'll be more sorry and more regrettable if I continue to choose to stay in this. I agree. You're not going to get any pushback from me, honey. This looks pretty damn closed out. And it frustrates me when I see a 5 of Wands. It's like, but I don't want to. Okay, what you want no longer matters in this context. You can't make me choose to continue to choose this. Put myself in it, even in a 3 of Pentacles way. Stop asking. It's done. It's decided. And that's typically a shock reaction from the people who are having a hard time digesting this. Some people would rather hold on to the fight or the sadness than nothing at all, not realizing that a new beginning would be advantageous or beneficial to them too, but they can't. They're caught up into what is left of the scraps in some situation. And let me make this clear. 5 of Wands, the 5 of Cups, and a 3 of Pentacles. This is the scraps of somebody's time, energy, and effort and attentions. Again, this could be family-based. This could be, I don't know. You would know best. It's very distinct, this reading is. And because they're so busy fighting for the scraps, it's what they got used to. They don't. The idea of a new beginning is foreign to them. So it's not foreign to you. That's my point. The Leo I'm looking at is kind of spiritually, mentally, and emotionally prepared for this. Good. I'm not saying it's easy. No. When you assume the responsibility like this, and I'm assuming it's you who assumed the responsibility of this, you understood and saw for yourself the transition into the future that they just cannot. Right? I don't want to be part of this anymore. I can't even pretend to be friends with you. Pretty distinct. Knight of Wands, your strengths, tell me it's a Leo reading without telling me it's a Leo reading. I mean, that's you. You have natural energy attached to you. Knight of Wands for the fire signs, yeah, absolutely, it's a strength. You tend to be that person who is on point, take leadership, initiative, drive, focus, ambition, all those things. And frankly, and I have a huge respect for this, naturally passionate for what you do. And that's because something I can identify with. Yes, absolutely. Knight of Wands and strength is ambition wrapped up in passion, knowing how to move forward. That doesn't necessarily mean, once more, it's about sexuality or being romantic. It says, I have a drive in me that I don't expect you to understand, but also, P.S., don't try to keep up with my pace. Okay, this is me. This is what I do. You do your thing. This is my energy. This is how I run. This is how I flow. This is how I go. So that's beautiful. I'm glad that you can access that because it shows me and demonstrates to you daily that you still have hope for yourself, that you still have a sense of drive and urgency, and I gotta go. I gotta go. Eight of Cups is in your home environment. I'm out of here. I'm walking away from this. I'm no longer emotionally invested. You made that clear, and it's looking like you're having to continue to make that clear in your environment until you are fully separated from this. Do you understand me? Until you're fully separated from this, you are going to continue to emotionally distance yourself from it. This is very normal. I want to reassure you of this process. It's going to suck in that sense of being numb and shut down, but it's numb and shut down from that which you have to walk away from. So in other words, that's the kind of energy. It serves a purpose. It does serve a purpose. It sucks, but it serves a purpose. It does. The Fools in your hopes and fears, reasonable. Very reasonable. Hopes and fears, again, it's not an outcome. It's just a reflection of us on the inside. What you hope for and what you fear are two sides, honey. Same coin, two sides. Of course. Look at everything. You hinted at it back here. I know that if I close this out, I'm up for a new beginning. You're not wrong. You know this. Part of you is very excited by it. You're someone who enjoys natural energy flows and spikes and being able to move at your own rhythm and speed. I see that. But also with that is a sense of responsibility. Oh, shit, I'm responsible for this new beginning. Yeah, yeah. It's scary. But nevertheless, you do it. Nevertheless, you persist. Nevertheless, you move forward. Seven of Cups is in your outcome. Yeah, you're open to exploring something there, right there towards the very end. And for you, it's not mixed emotions. It's the tentativeness of opening up, and it feels a little alien. It's been a while since you've just kind of left things open-ended for yourself, right? It's like, this is my energy, and I get to do these things now. I get to open up to something. Hello, great big white world out there. It is a great big wide world out there, you know? Let's see how you do. Let's get some advice, please. Some of you are like, I get to do my own thing and connect to whatever the heck I want. That's cool. All right. Let's get some advice, please. I'd have to say, well done. Because, again, these things, on the surface, sometimes they seem pretty obvious, and then we're in it, and then I don't know. I just know that for you, you were very prepared to close this chapter of your life. That doesn't mean it was easy. Who knows where it began, honey? I'm not really trying to look at the past. I can just say that you were familiar with disappointment. And you are familiar with fighting opposition, in that you are familiar with getting along or getting by on scraps of very little time, energy, and effort. And there's something that you say is no longer worth it, and you see that now. I'm surprised you didn't show me the Emperor, but if you feel like you're in this process, I can see where you might feel reduced, okay? It really is about getting on with your life and not going back to the past or trying to make scraps work. It's just not good enough. Okay? It's not good enough. I completely agree. But you are out there, it looks like, arms wide open there towards the future. Some of you are breaking away from the foundation. So here again, I have the physical representation. What was happening here is that I see the letting go of scraps and no longer being sustained by them. Okay? Here we have a little bit more of the authentic detail. The 5 is being subtracted from 10. So here's what was built. It's being cut in half. For some of you, it's amicable split, literally the 50-50 process, in which case this is a technical break as well as a legal. And it's an equal division. Okay? Again, does it make it easy? But that also tells me you're kind of prepared, yeah? Okay. There might have been something to do with money loss. I don't know about that. That flavor might be there a little bit for some of you. Okay? But I see this, the equal division of what was built. Okay? And 3 of Swords. Yes, I know. When you're in it, it hurts. As I say, you're not showing me Emperor, Empress. You're showing me this is something I need to stop fighting for. This is inevitable and probably was for some time. I need to get on with it. Okay. And the 9 of Pentacles is in reverse. That was very specific. Someone is not comfortable acting in an independent state. 9 of Pentacles in reverse makes me very nervous. Because that suggests someone who doesn't know how to stand on their own 2 feet, someone who lacks an independent quality, someone who's very uncomfortable planting themselves in one direction and making decisions, someone who is very uncomfortable being a solid person, someone who does not feel comfortable being independent. Someone who isn't comfortable being independent always kind of makes me nervous, because then they'll latch on to people for various reasons, you know. And usually none of them very good or healthy. So someone who really doesn't know how to make it on their own, but again, fears independence. So that would explain the pushback I'm seeing that's external from you. Someone who is terrified of being independent from you, separated from you because you're no longer supplying them with this illusion that you can continue to invest in this, whatever this was. It was a very circular motion, very closed circuit of activity. Okay, that was very distinct. I'm not saying don't need other people. What I'm saying is don't form false dependencies and then wrap it up in some sort of relationship like, oh, but we're brothers and sisters, or we're best friends, or we're lovers, or we're husband and wife. No. Yeah. Main female. 2. The community. The key. There's that community. I can see that your community is very important to you. 39, once more, the 10 of Pentacles, your resources, your connectivity, who you're connected to and why, the key. You can unlock the door here. So many of you might have identified as the jailer or the victim, but you can set yourself free. Okay? I'm very curious about that main female. Hierophant. This could represent I don't quite know where this is. This could represent a strong commitment to someone who is very acclimated to the idea of community. And because the main female in this card represents someone who is open, okay, to romantic interest, someone who is a really good catch, more on the side of Empress, someone who is still of that age of beauty and love and romantic qualities, but has a lot of offer and prospects, especially since it's attached to the community. So this is someone who represents the sort of, has a lot to bring to the table, if you will, and that we can open the door to this or escape it. Hierophant, that sense of burden. So it could represent a commitment in a brand new way that you have the key to unlock, okay? Or it could represent that which we are breaking from. For some of you, it might be a little bit of both. As one door closes, another opens. A strong sense of burden and hardship strongly associated to one's beliefs around commitment, possibly marriage, I don't know. For others of you, it represents the height of commitment to something that is a brand new opportunity. It really depends on how we're using that key. Are we unlocking ourselves? Or are we keeping ourselves locked too? For some of you, it's a little bit of both. We have letters L, T. We have 2 medallions here, Taurus and Aquarius. We are entering Aquarius season soon, as discussed in the intro. So we have some very strong placements in either. Could be connecting to, okay? And then also, of course, their seasons might be important. The coffee bean is in reverse, which I always think is interesting because I'm appalled. Okay. I'm not saying I'm a coffee snob. No. I am saying I am a little bit of a coffee dependent. But no, some of you are just like, you're not into coffee, or there's something here about here that lacks the energy. Something here doesn't grow. Something here doesn't have vitality. There's no interest. Like I said, no energy. Or perhaps some of you, it's just simply confirmation that you do not care for coffee. Okay, then we have the little bird. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the dove. Dove, peace. Yeah, huge sense of peace and understanding the truth and accepting it too. I agree. The dove. One of my favorite songs. It's kind of like a personal anthem. Regardless of how you feel about the band, Imagine Dragons, Believer, the lyrics. Lyrics are very phenomenal. Mind that lyric about peace, okay? After all the frustration and possibly hate, all right? The owl, the wisdom, there is again Aquarian energy. Some of you have some very interesting Aquarius in your chart, or this upcoming season is going to be quite interesting for some of you. But the idea is eyes wide open, highly observant, intelligent. See things for what they are, okay? All right, Leo, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Sag, welcome to your Thursday check-in. Show me Sagittarius, please. What's going on for Sagittarius? Show me Sagittarius. Temperance, that's you. Crossing, Page of Wands, yes. Crowning you, Seven of Pentacles, past, the Sun, exiting, Knights of Wands, before you, Seven of Cups, interesting. Strengths, Six of Pentacles, environment, King of Cups, beautiful. Hopes and fears, Three of Wands. Outcome is the Nine of Swords. Don't like that bit right there towards the end. However, I can see that that's also very temporary. It won't always be like that. You have to remember the outcome is the one that's most likely to change depending on us energies, and that's if you resonate with this. Otherwise, it's not your reading, so don't worry about it. Also, I'd advise you to check out the placements. Now, Temperance, that's you right there in the opening. Beautiful. You are yourself. You've been doing a good job of keeping your frequencies dialed into you. What am I all about? This is what I feel, this is what I think, this is what I believe, but it's subject to change. You're saying, depending on the information I receive, I'm willing to learn more, which I love that. You're saying you're not cut and dry. You're always willing to learn something new about yourself. You're always willing to receive new information, no matter how small. You're like, I always try to incorporate it and fold it into myself and fold it into myself. And again, once more, that's beautiful. You're literally showing me an openness of spirit and that you are willing to really navigate your long-term energies if it means short-term sacrifice. In other words, you know what? I'm willing to take some spiritual knocks just so long as I get to say I'm me and I know who the heck I am. And that being said, you're like, I'm quite comfortable, but I earned that. Temperance equals time. So this is where, when we have informed healing, we have really made the most use of our time. People who have uninformed healing will just allow time to pass, and, you know, whatever it is they used to feel doesn't seem as difficult as it once was. So you have informed healing. You take a lot of pride in who you are and how far you have come, but it's not like overt pride or outward crazy pride. No, it's just like that quiet comfort of knowing who you are and what you're about, you know? And that means having made hard decisions, particularly in regards to paying your spiritual, emotional bill, if you will. These are things I learned about me the hard way, and the not so hard ways, but mostly the hard ways. And that's why you're open to things about yourself. So it's not really in the challenge position. It's just you literally incorporate new information as you receive it, which again means you're not cut off. You're not cut off from critique or criticism from yourself or others. You keep yourself open, right? But that also means you have to know when to filter nonsense out. Okay? Always know who you are, which is beautiful. Seven of Pentacles in your crown. You're like, things are growing. Things are active. Now, this is not stagnation. This is, I like where things are position. It's like my pathway is on my mind. It's developing and I'm taking my time with it. Again, you're showing me patience around pre-existing subject matters because you're saying it's important to you. So you are very much carefully taking your time with your own particular path. You said that's very, very important to you at this time. The Sun is in your past, and as far as I can tell, it's with you in present day. So again, the past position does not mean it's over. It just means that you've had experience with it in the past. Therefore, you can again in present day. And you're saying, yeah, I felt happiness in the past and I still do. It's like, I like being me. I earned being me. And you're saying a big part of what I do is being mindful of my path and how I'm growing it, just like I would my personal self. It's like, it's not enough just to have success. I need to know who I am too, because that also counts as success. I completely agree with you. So overall, you're showing me relatively that you are happy, healthy, sad, and that you actually like who you are, and that you had to learn about yourself the hard way. And that's why you're so careful and articulate with your path. So once more, big difference between stagnation and being careful with your development. What's interesting here is the Knight of Wands is on the exit. Now, for a fire sign, that might have concerned me, except that you are, again, once more showing me temperance as opposed to, say, intensity of feeling, fire sign. So you've kind of like, I've traded in my sense of passion or intensity for better understanding who I am and being comfortable with that. Okay, so again, you're someone who intentionally has lowered your gears. You don't drive as fast as you used to, but when you do drive, it's with a much stronger mindfulness about who you are, where you're going, and where you intend to be. You see what I'm saying? That's it. Otherwise, I'm really not that concerned. Had you showed me anything else other than a kind of quiet, calm gratitude for who you are, I might have been concerned. So you're just like, I don't drive at 100 anymore. I try to keep it at a steady 60. You know what I'm saying? Or in respect to the Seven of Pentacles, a steady 70, you know. You're like, I've calmed down. I, I like that. I don't know why, but I like it. Seven of Cups is before you in the future. There's a sense of being openness to what? I don't know. Exploring new feelings. Who knows? Options in love, you bet. But once more, given your opening process, I can't say I'm surprised. You seem to be very exploratory, but in a very calm, comfortable way. You really don't mind being open to new things. New people, places, experiences, and that includes feelings too. Just so long as it's done calmly and it's not too disruptive to who you are, you'll be open to it. You are open to influence, but in a gentle way, and I like that so much. It really has lended to who you are. You try not to take anything for granted, particularly your own sense of development. And I'm assuming you're being very careful, selective about what you allow to influence you. But I do agree with you. Don't ever become so jaded and cynical in this life that you shut down and you think there's nothing left new to think or feel. It's just not true. So you try to remain open to life. And I see that for you soon, you have another opportunity to be open towards something. It presents itself and is an emotional possibility. Six of Pentacles in your strengths. That's what I'm saying. You have lots of boats in play and you're not rocking any of them. You like things just so. Patient, smooth, and balanced. It's one of your strengths. I see that. King of Cups is in your environment. You have a lovely, loving environment. Whether or not you share that with someone, I don't know. That's up to you. But you're saying whatever your environment is, you have nothing but love for it. And you have love for yourself, which is beautiful. Once more, when people love themselves, they have obviously practiced temperance, as we see with you. And that doesn't mean that as like we think we're perfect. No, you're saying I love my lights just like I love my darks. You're just like I understand both of my energies, which is beautiful. I love that you have such a loving household and that it loves you back. You just feel it all the time. Big heart that you have. Three of Wands is in your hopes and fears. You're not big on waiting, nor should you be. But also, it's something about I don't want to rush this moment in time. And I've seen that for you multiple times. It's like I want to know that I'm not waiting. But I also want to know that I'm not rushing because there's something about the sweet spot that you're in right now where you like what you're experiencing. You like what's unfolding in your life. So it's like you don't want to rush it. But you also don't want to like lose this idea that I got to have some sort of direction or aim because then I end up waiting and I don't want to wait to live life. It's here. It's happening now. So again, once more, I see you understanding that you should be present-minded. Now, I have some stress for you right here in your outcome with the Nine of Swords. I don't know where it's coming from because you've given me such calm, serene vibes up until that moment. And then, boom, you got some mental stress right there towards the end. So I'm kind of curious about that Nine of Swords. Let's jump on into that. For some of you, I noticed on the split, you had a feeling something was coming through. What's up with this, please? Can I get some advice on that Nine of Swords? So lovely, calm, and tempered. There you are again. Some of you are very strong, intuitive feelers. Beautiful. And again, that's based on experience and patience. Yeah, something's clicking now. And I agree, the most intuitive people have the ability to stay in the moment. And that means you cannot have a fixation of the past nor a fixation of the future. And when we understand that, that's actually how one of the easiest and best ways we can get in tune with our intuitive selves is that we stay here. And mindfulness is not easily done. We can get so fixated on what happened in the past and then therefore become obsessed about future or the lack of a future because we can't give up the past. So I can see that you really do try to stay here with a sense of outward. The Hermit in reverse, that's very distinct. Justice, the Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands. You already showed me that your Knight of Wands is on the exit, so I already know that's not you. I've already dismissed it. You showed me where you're at these days. Patience, steadiness, and listening to yourself. It's a natural feedback loop you've created with yourself, which is beautiful. Again, once more, allowing for the intuitive process. I have an influx of energy here that has very pointedly the Hermit in reverse not shown or exercised too much experience skills. Wisdom, insight, or reflection, and yet some reason it's asking for justice or balance with you as a friend or a cooperative element. It comes in as a rush of energy that, once more, I will point out is not yours. It's kind of like saying, let's get in there and fix it, but without any wisdom, reflection, or insight to back that up. There is that sense of, hey, let's balance real quick. And you're like, on what basis are you approaching me? Because you don't seem to have learned jack and shit. Have you learned nothing? Do you have anything to offer here that suggests reflection, insight, wisdom, experience, healing? Do you have anything constructive healing behind this? Or is this just you with a fire under your ass? Okay? Because let me point this out to you. You would know the difference. The Sag I'm looking at would know the difference between the quality of one's thoughts and mindfulness versus someone who's like, hey, let's balance up real quick. You and me. Here's some energy. Let's do this. I haven't given this too much thought or why I'm approaching this. I don't seem to have too much to offer in terms of reflection, insight, or why I'm doing this or done any deeper healing like you have. But here's a quick solution. You want to take that? You want to take that real quick? So that would explain then. There's a Nine of Swords right there towards the end. This is where I'm going to stop, and I want to see that influence. When does that influence come through, please? Because you can tell it stresses you out. It stresses you out. You're approaching me with a balance construct that you seem to be super excited about, but you have no insight behind it. About why it's here, why you're offering it at all, which suggests lack of wisdom or apology. No sense of thoughtfulness at all. It's almost like, how can I make this right, but without any sense of accountability behind it, which is not correct. No accountability behind it. It's like, why are you thinking about balancing this if you have... Anyway, for some of you, this comes on through in June. Just FYI, or Wednesday, or perhaps it's a combination of Wednesday and June. I honestly don't know. It's out there towards the outcome, and I see it causes a moment of distress. Okay. Just to let you know, you don't have to participate. The Sag I'm looking at, you should already know this. Okay? I am sorry it stresses you out, but it doesn't have to further. We cannot make other people stop their actions, but it is on us to understand if we want to participate. So you don't have to participate in that. Especially if this thing is lacking wisdom, insight, or any sense of apology or why it doesn't heal. It's like an offer to balance and correct things, but with no sense of wisdom of healing behind it. It's like, how can I make this correct? Please, how can I make this correct? And here's something. This should do it. This should do it. That's what I'm like. That's what I'm getting. That. Here's something. This should do it. This should fix it. This should help ease my guilty conscience, or this is how I can balance it real quick, but I don't want to get invested in anything. No. It's kind of like saying, what's the shortest way I can make this feeling go away of incorrectness? Can I pay this like a tab? I don't want to actually admit to anything wrong. I kind of just want to make things right, and I don't want to understand why. You see what I'm saying? I think you get it. D, N, W, the crescent moon. The next crescent moon for some of you might be of interest, or some of you just follow the moon. Butterfly, yes, you have done a lot of good work here on transformation. Beautiful. You're a gorgeous butterfly, darling. And then we have the medallion of Leo. It's in the reverse, the keyword here being generous. Some of you pride yourselves on being generous or trying to have a generous nature. For some of you, Leo is an important sign for you in your chart somewhere. The season, that could also be of importance, There you go. All right, Sagittarius, I hope this helped you. Overall, beautiful job in your own personal sense of development and where you are. May that continue. May you continue to live in the present, reflect on the present, and therefore you will always kind of understand where it is you should be, and your happiness may continue. All right, Sagittarius, I hope this helped. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Aries, welcome to your Thursday check-in. Show me, Aries. What's going on for Aries? Show me, Aries. The Knights of Pentacles, crossing, judgment. Okay, crowning, the Hanged Man. Take your time, take your time. Knights of Cups in the past. That would be a first impression. Take your time, honey. King of Swords is exiting before you. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, there we go. Two of Wands, decision, good, challenges. Queen of Wands, yeah, decisions. Decisions is challenges. They're catching up to you. Okay. The Sun and the hopes and fears, the outcome, the lovers. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why so much time was needed, because there's so much of it here. Is just being told repeatedly, make a good decision, make a good decision. There's lots of time here. Take your time. You've taken your time. It's time to speed up now. Wow. Okay. Knight of Pentacles. There you are plodding along. And you're like, I'm doing my thing. I'm on my own particular path. It's slow. Okay. Doesn't need to be rushed from your point of view. You opened up and then something crossed you that represents judgment. And it's like, hey, lesson, learn your lesson, but take your time with your lesson, because this one's not going to be easy. This one's going to take a minute to learn. Because judgment doesn't always arrive at one piece at one time. It can often be portioned out over an expansive time. Something came through, and it represented a lesson that was going to be learned over time. The Hanged Man was crowning you. We had lots of perspective on this. I see that. Don't rush it. Perspective is needed. Perspective is needed. Perspective is needed. These are old feelings that came up out of what seems like nowhere once upon a time on your timeline. You were moving along, and then something crossed you. It's like, hey, we got a blast from the past here, and it represents a lesson. We want you to take your time with this one, Aries. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. There's a lot in this one. Like they keep emphasizing that it's like this one's a big lesson, and it's going to be stretched out over time, and you're going to get pieces of information at a time. I don't know. And okay, well, I wasn't in a rush anyway, so you had a lot of time stretched out to absorb some really interesting information, and it does represent old emotions. Let's talk about that. The Knight of Cups is in the past, so. Past orientation doesn't mean it's over. It can still be felt and therefore experienced in present day and also possibly in future. It just depends. So the Knight of Cups suggests I don't want to put it from that point of view. It's just the words that are trying to fall out of my mouth. It's like an old romantic attachment. It's something at some point on your timeline I know you softened your heart towards. Perhaps you had feelings towards it at some point. Perhaps you tried to romanticize it or tried to romanticize you in the past. But it was in the past. It was in the past. And it was soft, or it was romantically inclined. And at one point it wasn't. And then somehow it got reinfused into your life. And it has been a very strong, evolving lesson ever since. And it was like, don't rush this one. You're not going to learn everything at one time. Piece it out. Take your time. Do your spiritual stretches, if you will. You're going to need it. This one's a long haul kind of race. Okay. I don't know how it's not my reading, it's yours. All right. The King of Swords is in the exit. There's this sense of logic isn't going to work for this. I don't mean to laugh, but it has a lot more to do with spiritual influence and the willingness to see things differently and to experience things differently. It's not really a matter or question of logic and reasoning for the areas I'm looking at, because you've tried to rationalize and it doesn't work. It doesn't. Whatever this is seems to defy your sense of rational skills or logical skill sets, and I don't know why. For some of you, Aries is a minor placement. I don't know why I'm supposed to say that. It doesn't feel very Aries, doesn't it? Anyway, your typical mode for how you would handle things, make decisions, back them up, make decisions. It wasn't working with this. It was impression after impression with this over and over again. So I don't know at what point it doesn't look obtrusive. This was supposed to reintroduce itself on your timeline in some way, and it was just stretched out. That's all I know. Wheel of Fortune. And then it's like, okay, that's enough of that. We're gonna hit the fast forward button, or just frankly take you off pause. It was so stretched out. So at one point, your feelings for this, you used to pursue it, you used to have romance towards it, reintroduced itself, and you've had a lot of time to think about it and reflect on it and be influenced by it. And let's catch you up. The Wheel of Fortune upon you in future. You will be looking back on this soon, and how much you've learned from it and accumulated from the subject and how it's affected you to present day. So you're going to catch yourself up soon in a comprehensive way. What triggers that moment, I don't know. Two of Wands is in your strengths, which is why I'm like, yeah, typically you're an Aries who's very comfortable making decisions. I saw that. You're saying the typical method that you have, logic and rationality, is defying this particular subject of an emotional influence once upon a time, and why it was back in your life and how much you've learned from it and why is it there at all. Otherwise, you typically have no problem living in the moment, making decisions from moment to moment. I'm very happy about that. That makes me happy when people showcase that Two of Wands a little more. Typically, you're comfortable making decisions. Queen of Wands is in your environment. Yeah, I mean, fire forward, you tend to be. You know, what's got your focus is what got your focus. You tend to notice passionate things like yourself. You tend to notice creative things like yourself. Some of you lean into beauty, okay? In that respect of you find physical appearance with yourself, with others, an attractive quality. I don't know. It represents creativity, passion, drive, ambition. You prize those qualities in yourself, and therefore you look outward in others to see them that way too. It's part of your environment. Therefore, what you see in yourself is what you try to see in others. And there's something in this that you have seen yourself in it many, many times. Otherwise, you would have left it alone by now. Or you would have, the sun is in your hopes and fears. Do I dare feel hopeful about this? Do I dare to feel happy? Because you feel that you could, but you're afraid that you might, you mightn't. The sun in the hopes and fears, the guarantee of nothing. It's simply a reflection of who we are. It's almost like you're saying, do I dare to be happy? Do I dare allow myself to believe I could be? But I want to be touched by the sun. I want to be loved by the sun. I want to be warm. I want to be happy. The Lovers is in your outcome. Whatever this is was meant... I see in the past that you used to romanticize it or put emotional feeling towards it that suggests emotional pursuit. So when it crossed you again as a form of judgment, don't dismiss it. You can't. It's going to defy logic. That means you continue to be influenced in it, but perhaps not romantically. There's so much time stretched out here. It's given you so much to think about. It's some sort of spiritual and emotional influence, even if it wasn't in your 3D all the time. It's hard to explain, guys. When I see that there was a sense of romantic attraction of this in the past, that stops. And then the same influence picks up again, but for some reason, it's not approached the same way. It's not allowing to influence us the same way, but it's still there. So how it showed back up again, a friend, a colleague, I don't know. And yet it's given you so much to think about, such a strong sense of emotional and spiritual influence. And yet into this present day, it's going to catch up to this soon about how long this has been with you. You understand it contains and holds so many elements that you yourself prize and hold dear. What you see in them is you see reflected back in you. And that's what these kind of attractions are. You feel the warmth of it, the potential warmth of it, and you fear it simultaneously. This is normal. It's not an accusation. The Lovers is in the outcome. I mean, somehow in some way I see you acknowledging this as it was my equal. It was always my equal. It was mine. It was always mine. Logic and rationality had nothing to do with it. Whatever this is really is outside the standard quo for how I connect to people, or what a divine influence is, or perhaps I never thought about it until I met them. So I can see where you used to pursue this in the past romantically until one day you didn't. And then it came back in. And it had a completely different shape and context to it. It wasn't so obvious. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't so obvious. It was a lot more subtle. It were a lot more subtle. But when you stretch things out over time, and let's say you prize yourself on someone who's being very grounded and practical, you know, it's like, well, this is a matter of 2 + 2. Well, not with this. Not with this. You know, something about this was very different. You know, there was more than meets the eye to this, honey. There was. I'd love to give you more advice, except you will come across, I don't want to say crossroads, but this point on your timeline soon where you're going to go back and give this deep reflection that nothing about this was the norm. Nothing about this felt like a normal connection to you. Nothing about it was straightforward. It was incredibly complex. And how it seems that you have been continuously coaxed back to it in terms of reflection. And then you're going to realize for yourself how much is, in fact, it's a reflection of you on the inside. Your lover carries this with you in many ways. The Fool. Queen of Cups, the Knight of Swords. Someone will be taking action when the time is right, whatever that means. The Knight of Swords is responsible for action as well as communication. That of the heart space, which is full of love. Opening up, somebody opens up, takes the risk, and someone opens up and takes the risk to receive of whatever is said or done. Okay? It's going to work a little bit both ways there. All right? I don't know who will take charge of the action or communication. I just see that someone here's the recipient. Either way, it's the Fool on both sides. You both have to open up and take a risk towards each other, so long as it's meant from the heart. Okay, the communication then should be on point. Yeah, there's some pain in there. Of course. I'm sure on both sides. But what you showed me is the kind of overwhelming appreciation for time and the influence you found in it. And it wasn't obvious. It wasn't on the surface. It wasn't on the surface obvious. The High Honor in reverse. Somebody might have some self-esteem issues. I don't want to go into it, but it kind of speaks for itself as someone feels like they don't have the privilege or they don't have the right or that they don't have the honor to connect to this. That's where I would push back on that. We need more insight here about the impact or influence of this over time. And then things like titles and worth and all this other crap really don't mean as much when you understand you two are worth each other where it counts. Anyway, sense of high honor in reverse. Toil and labor. I haven't worked hard enough. Toil and labor work so hard. I just... Somebody has a very strong work ethic. Mature man, number 5. Community, the 10 of Pentacles, and the occupation. There is a very strong sense here that the one or both of you have a very strong drive towards the highest potential in occupation and community network. That's how you two must know each other in some way. But the both of you credit yourselves for working hard and working hard all their lives, and yet someone here insists that they're not good enough. I'm going to have to call bullshit on that. I think you two actually have a lot of common qualities. No. I think you two are both deeply tied to very similar roots, and you both have a very strong principle of working hard. It's storms. Okay. 6 storms. We're going to generate some activity here. Okay. We don't hope it's a tower thing. We'd rather see the clearing up of the storms as opposed to creating one. I understand that. So I would just say approach with the fullness of heart and that sense of, okay, I'm going to open up and take a risk and approach this directly. And perhaps instead of creating a storm, we clear one up, you know? Number 6. Okay. Let's pull some charms. It's so distinct. High honors in reverse. After working so hard, it looks like the both of you, by all rights, you should both have the same honor. I'm just guessing you two don't look anything alike on paper, right? The influence, again, isn't obvious. It's not logical. It kind of defies and stretches time at the same time. Excuse me. M, N, P. We have the medallion of Sag in the reverse, the keyword here being the optimist. We have palm hand, the sense of spirituality, and taking one's spiritual practices and influences very seriously. And then we have the infinity loop. Concept of the soul bond is here. Yes, of course. Okay, Aries, honey, I do hope this helped you. I wish I had more time with this. But it looks like you've had plenty of time with this, to be honest with you. To think about it, contemplate it, and see how it's been reflected in your life time and time again. Just in ways that aren't obvious. May that outcome be. And somebody here's got to ditch that notion of not being worthy. That's just not true. You both look alike on the inside, and it seems like you have similar practices on the outside as well. Something to think about. Okay, like I said, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Aquarius, welcome to your Thursday check-in. What's going on, please? Show me. Aquarius. Got any big birthday plans this year? Let me know. What's going on? Show me. Aquarius, what's going on? The Eight of Cups. The Six of Swords. Crowning, that's you. King of Swords. Past. Seven of Cups. Six of Wands is exiting. Nine of Wands. Yeah, it's not about pride, is it? No. Aquarius, I'm looking at you already went, no, it's not. It's not a pride thing. Okay. Okay, Strength, Four of Wands. The High Priestess is in your environment. The Page of Swords, and then the hopes and fears, and the King of Pentacles in the outcome. You're going to be all right in the end. Okay. Right now you're showing me conflict. Should I stay or should I go? And right now you're leaning more towards go these days. It wasn't always like that. Okay. Six of Swords is challenging. We haven't fully committed to the concept. Emotionally, you have. Emotionally, you've walked bare minimum. It's just Six of Swords says I haven't fully mentally accepted it. So it's kind of like a matter of time, it seems. But yeah, I mean, you opened up with should I stay or should I go when, I would say 2/3 of you is pretty much out the door. Now, it doesn't have to be a relationship. In fact, you're showing me one of your strengths is Four of Wands, that you value relationships. So I don't know what it is that you are currently in a place where you're like 2/3 detaching already, but we haven't fully, completely committed to leaving this behind. But you do expect an answer from yourself with the King of Swords crowning. That is you, honey. You want your mind focused on this. You want a decision. I'm like you, honey. I don't like leaving things hanging. And you don't either. Aquarius typically doesn't. You like things to be decided. You really do. So you're going through all the processes now, First, it starts with emotional detachment, and then Six of Swords. When you understand that that's the correct direction for you, which, by the way, I'm not dictating anything. Tarot doesn't dictate action. You do. Tarot is a proof choice, not the absence of it. I'm saying one variation for an Aquarius here today that suggests you're building your way into an exit because you know you should or you feel that you should. It's the right thing to do from your point of view. So when you become more consolidated up here at the King of Swords, you, in your crown, the Six of Swords becomes more focused or determined. Okay? But right now, we're still kind of mentally accepting what's up. In the past, Seven of Cups, you tried. I mean, you tried to keep yourself open towards this. You really did. And Seven is not far away from an Eight, right, of Cups. And it's almost like you're saying because you kept yourself open towards this so much that you became numb to it. Because nothing changed. There wasn't too much left to explore. There wasn't enough left for you to anchor yourself to. And that can happen when we leave our Seven of Cups open too long. It's too much exploration without actually picking an emotional designation, which can absolutely numb somebody. The whole thing with Seven of Cups is nice to be open. And it might even be nice to have options in love, but the options don't mean anything if you don't pick one. And then they all start to look the same and they all start to feel the same. The same is true for any sort of, I'm feeling my way around it. Or I'm trying to keep myself open towards the situation without being closed off. But without any new results to generate an anchoring sort of emotional expression, there's nothing to feel secure to. So you can become numb and shut down this kind of thing. So I can honestly say you kept yourself open towards this as long as you could, but without an anchor to keep you there or commit to one emotion, you kind of became shut down to whatever the heck this is. You're aware of it. Like I said, you're working through it right now. And what I like is that the Six of Wands here is exiting. It's not an ego thing for you. You don't feel good about this. But for the Aquarius I'm looking at, you have a kind of distinct signature. If I can't have confidence over this, I should probably disengage from it. But you're like, it's not an ego thing. It's not a pride thing. It's just I don't have confidence in this. And if I don't have confidence in myself, how can I possibly have confidence in this? So everything begins with the self, right? So you saying not having confidence in the situation says, if I can't have confidence in it, what does that say about me? Now, Nine of Wands is before you in future. There's the wall. It's a little bit more of a firmer structure. Until you have completely committed to absenting yourself from this, making a full exit, a clean break, which you didn't do. You did not show me the world. You did not show me death. I see you at bare minimum as kind of like a temporary solution, if you will, is to put a wall up between yourself and this. In other words, you're going to stop participating, even if it's a little bit rough. Okay? and kind of defending your position until you absolutely know what the heck you're doing with it. And I see you reflecting on that as the best choice between now and then. Okay. It is a temporary solution, the Nine of Wands is. Okay. I can understand you putting that wall up will give you even more space to figure things out. But you're going to need a long-term vision with this, whatever this is. Okay? But for now, it seems like that will do. That Nine of Wands will do for now. Okay? Now, going back to your strengths, the Four of Wands here, you say Four of Wands is one of your strengths. You like relationships. You do. You think relationships gives you strength, right? You know how to build into them. You take pride in knowing how to build into relationships. You're just like, you never really know who you are until you're connected to someone else. And I agree with you. That's the whole point of having any sort of intimate relationships. You will never truly understand who you are until you see yourself reflected back to someone you care about. And that can be any sort of relationship, guys. Four of Wands isn't just marriage. It's not just boyfriend, girlfriend. Okay. It's anyone connected to your household that actually gets to see you, the real you, on the day-to-day. There you go. So you understand the benefit. Take strength in properly upheld relationships, right? Where two people stand up for each other, at bare minimum two people, and they create walls and sense of security and safety for each other, okay? So you see the strength in relationships, and you like it. You say you like who you are. You learn about yourself, and that's the way it should be, right? And otherwise, again, what's the point of having anything intimate if you're not willing to understand who the hell you are better? You know, I respect that. That's cool. The Head Priestess is in your environment. You pride yourself on listening to yourself. You prize intuition. You want to be able to hear yourself. And you also like quiet. You appreciate silence, and I respect that too. That's good to have in your environment. With the ability to kind of knowing when to be silent and say shut up, you can hear yourself a lot better. And it goes back into that space of being able to stay in the moment. So I like your environment. I like your sense of strength in relationships. You know what they're about. You know the purpose that they're meant to serve. Okay? You're saying these are all good things in your book. And intuitively, you think a relationship is good for you. You do. You honestly believe that because you honestly feel it. That's good. Page of Swords and your hopes and fears. That's interesting. You're saying you try not to go chasing shadows, which I respect. Again, that's pretty cool. It's like I shouldn't hope for anything I don't really know about, and I shouldn't fear anything I don't really know about for that same reason, which is respectable. That's pretty cool. Page of Swords. You know, don't go chasing shadows. Yeah, it causes unnecessary stress about hopes you don't even think you should have or should know about, never mind your fears. I mean, right? I mean, there's not a lot to work with there, and that's not bad. I typically see all sorts of stuff ranging from why to, well, that's normal. And the Page of Swords, like, I try not to go chasing shadows, you know? And then I don't have to create unnecessary hopes for stuff that really has nothing to do with me. And therefore, I also don't have to chase any fears that really don't have anything to do with me. It's like I try to stick with what I know. And that's pretty cool. King of Pentacles in the outcome. You will be you in the end. Practical, reliable, stable. Okay? Prosperous too. Okay? It's just in that sense of, what do we do with this? You believe in relationships. You believe in the mechanics of them and what they serve. Okay? You prize listening to yourself and you enjoy silence too. You try not to go chasing shadows and things you don't understand. I know you like practicality and stability, resourcefulness. But this, while you might have a temporary wall up in place, eventually this is going to require some sort of full-time answer. I know you will figure it out for yourself. And just because you prize, even if this is a relationship thing, guys, even if you prize relationships and you find strength in them, the reason why we might be contemplating leaving this behind is because it's not living up to the Four of Wands. If you don't feel structured or safe or secure or supported, and you should feel supported, and that's the whole thing about Four of Wands is support structure. If we don't feel supported in this emotionally, mentally, or otherwise, I can see why you are where you are with it today. Because if you honestly see a Four of Wands as a strength and what you're currently in doesn't meet the criteria for a good Four of Wands, I can see why you'd put a wall up between yourself and it. but it's going to require a full-time answer. Okay, so just FYI for some of you. There you go. The Hermit. The World, Death. Okay. A serious, quiet contemplation of some serious stuff, as you see. Okay? 3 majors right there. The Hermit, the World, Death. Serious, deeply contemplative questions around an ending. The plausibility of it specifically. You're taking in that. Good. I was really concentrating on the 9 of Wands. What does that temporary wall mean to you? What are you doing with that space that you're creating for yourself? The distance that you're gaining from this? What are you doing with it? Otherwise, you got some really excellent qualities attached to you. I love it when people understand 4 of Wands as a strength. I don't know who I am unless... Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you have to be with somebody. I'm not saying you have to be married. That's not what I mean. When people say, I understand what the purpose of a relationship is. I do. And I would thrive in a healthy one. So that makes me think that whatever this is, isn't so healthy. Safe or secure. And you're in a place of silence right now in your environment. Healing yourself towards the possibility of an ending here. And what does that mean? Taking responsibility for it, looking back on the past and the world and death, or can this be transformed? And if I close out this cycle, does that mean I open another one? What does that mean? So I'm glad to see that you are using this space for yourself wisely. Okay? And that is wise. You get to choose, remember, at the end of the day. All right? You get to choose for yourself. Anything else in here, please, that Aquarius should know about? Okay. 9 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles. You're aware. You are very aware. Again, it's looking like self-isolation. You're wanting to remove from this a little more every day. There's that numb effect I see in you. There's that 9 of Wands again. Okay. You're saying this is something you have to figure out on your own, and that you need the space to do it. Okay? You're kind of tired and shut down from being tired and shut down. It's exhausting. I know. That's why you're insisting on that space. And then you take it from there with that contemplation of this. All right? Take it seriously. That way you can take the result seriously, because you will be getting a result at this pace. Like I said, you're determined to figure these things out. All right? Which is good. I'm like you. I don't like the lingering things. I really don't. I like things to be resolved as well. And it makes sense, honey. It does. And I can see that you kept yourself open towards this. A little bit of luck. The 4-leaf clover. 2. Sky bridge. A little luck further out. Across the bridge, further out. Higher sights, higher vision. You know. Things have changed. You're being guided by a different compass. In other words, you feel like there's a little bit of luck for you further out that perhaps you can't see yet. But this pathway is opening up towards you, and that you might be destined towards it in some other way. Okay? 23816, and while it may not be within your immediate sight, you strongly feel that your compass is pointing due north, but in a different due north. We have one letter, P. We have the spider. The indication of the spider web is in the upright. That means it's healthy. Constructive web mechanisms, what it's for. Support structures and everything that you wrap your life around. The spider's not meant to be threatening here. It's the web we weave. So how would you weave your web? And it's a delicate thing. And you want it to be part of good, constructive, healthy qualities. We have the little spatula for some of you. Cooking is a hobby, it's a profession, or it's what you're doing now. Chakras in the reverse. We currently feel like we're not in alignment. I could see that. That makes perfect sense for where you are. And then we have the unicorn in reverse. You have the power to make the decision here. You have the power to make good decisions for yourself too. But you may not feel very happy about your powers right now. Okay, it's no easy thing that you're looking at or contemplating, but indeed you have the power to make the decisions. Okay, that doesn't mean that they're easy. Okay, I'm feeling like one time card. At sunset within 5 years. That would make sense to you. All right, Aquarius, honey, I hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Gemini, welcome to your Thursday check-in. What's going on for Gemini? Show me Gemini, please. Very good. The Fool. Okay. Crossing. 9 of Wands. We'll see. The High Priestess. Crowning. Yeah, the past. 3 of Swords. Fair enough. The Tower. Exiting. Good. Before you, the Lovers. You. One of your power card structures. We'll see if it's connected to someone else or you're just feeling you. We'll see. Strengths, 4 of Wands. Yeah, Aquarius had the same card, same position. So if you have Aquarius in your chart, check those out. And I promise you, I shuffle these many times in between. Okay, Knight of Cups in the environment. Yeah, you feeling it. You feeling it. Honey, you're just like, hey man, you know, when you feel the love, you feel the love. Yeah, you do. Okay, strengths and hopes and fears, judgment. I like it. I like where your head at. Don't get me wrong, you got some rough spots, particularly here in the opening, right? No one's perfect, right? Nor would I want to meet a perfect person. Tarot reflects the humanness. So the Fool, you're like, huh, Christina, I'm feeling maybe like I could just blast open one of these days. I just want to take a risk. I want to take a chance. And your 9 of Wands is crossing you. It's challenging you. It's like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? What if you break your neck, Gemini? Okay, do you ever think about that? What if you sprain your ankle on your way to your new adventure or your new beginning? It's caution. Except it's kind of losing a little bit. 9 of Wands is like, I'm putting up an effort to not just trip out my front door, but I really don't want to keep putting the effort up, so maybe don't. 9 of Wands is repetitious by nature, you know? The wounded warrior is exhausted because he keeps fighting the same fight without switching up his game. But he's still hanging in there, kind of. It's partial challenge. I think you're someone who is very naturally inclined to shoot down your impulse energies, and that's fine. The Fool can be the Fool as well as foolish. How do you know which is which? When you're telling yourself or egging yourself on to take a risk, to open up to a new beginning versus something you authentically feel. And when it's something you authentically feel and you keep trying to fight that off, then you're fighting off yourself and your own sense of a brand new beginning. It could be fear-based reasons. You know, perhaps it's been a while since you exercised your Fool energy. I don't know. Perhaps some of you are just terribly, terribly, terribly cautious about generating new activities or regenerating old activities. I don't know. But it's like, hey, not too much enthusiasm there. Okay, you can get hurt. Dial it back. And if you're just being foolish, I think you would know. It's like, hey, we can do this. I want to do this. That's more impulsive. And I don't think you suffer from impulsive issues. Unless maybe you get yourself so worked up into something because you delay your own behaviors. You know, and then it can come across as being impulsive when actually the sensations went through the whole fucking time. But if you're so busy trying to ignore it, you see how that 9 of Wands gets a little tricky? Which one's a repetitious behavior pattern and which one's actually put a wall up? You know? I think you're someone who you're not impulsive at all. I think you have strong natural surges to new beginnings or taking a risk, but you got in the habit of trying to switch them off or shut them down so they feel bad. So by the time you actually do engage in new behaviors, it looks impulsive because now you got yourself so worked up into it. Oh, I'm just going to do it when it was there the whole time. And I say that, and the reason why I'm leaning towards you have a natural Fool, not a worked up Fool. Well, excuse me. You have a natural Fool, not one that you are trying to push yourself into being, is because you actually have a High Priestess crowning you. So, intuitively, you've been feeling inclinations to open up and take a risk for a while. It's just you have a habit of crossing yourself out. Like, no, I'm not going to do it. So I can see where every now and again, when you do take action, it might come across as impulsive. That doesn't mean you were wrong. It just means you got used to shutting it down, the natural feeling. So I don't want you to keep doing that, and I don't think you want to keep doing that either. There's something here intuitively you feel that the time is right, and you've been keeping it to yourself. You've been keeping it all locked up inside yourself. It's an intuitive feeling. It's soft, it's subtle, it's quiet. Hey, Gemini, come on. We're feeling this for a reason. Come on. Let's do this. Whatever this is, let's do it. You know? So on the surface, it might look impulsive, but it's not. I think it's something you've been keeping yourself from for a while. And then why? I'll tell you why. Fear. And 3 of Swords is in the past. That's tale as old as time, honey. There, you have a little bit of 3 of Swords in the past. That's everybody. Do you have a pulse? Congratulations. You have 3 of Swords. You know, you're gonna have a sense of fear of rejection from time to time, especially opening up and taking risks. It sucks. It sucks when we're shot down or told no or it's not going to work out. It sucks, yeah, but it's got to be better than holding yourself back constantly and telling yourself to be cool with it when you're not cool with it. You know? The 3 of Swords, the past doesn't mean it's over. It just means you've experienced it once, you can experience it again, and it's scary. It's scary. So again, know the difference between being the fool honest and just being foolish, and I don't think what you're experiencing is foolish at all. No. A tower is behind you. Something that was shocking, difficult, that's behind you. That's exiting. The influence has already come and gone. Okay? And whatever that was represented a very strong influence of energies that changed you. It transformed you in some way. It made you a bigger, better, stronger Gemini, even if it hurt. Okay? Even if it was scary. It might have been some scary information or some sort of external circumstance, but it's already happened. The influence has already come and gone. And what you're left with is a real authentic feeling and sense of direction for the self that you keep trying to prohibit. It's done. The tower's done. The worst of whatever is here is behind you. Okay? You've learned what you needed to learn, and if you needed any changing, you should have had time to change by now. Okay? It's okay. The Lovers are before you in future, honey. You are directly in front of yourself in future, and it seems to be strongly connected to someone else. When your power card shows up, it's always like, okay, so is that Gemini just being extra Gemini? Are they feeling themselves, or are you actually in connection to somebody? It's in connection to somebody. Your heart flows towards somebody. And I can see why it's powerful. It's beautiful. I like the Lovers in this deck because we actually have the representation of duality. So we always have the Lovers like we always do, and we have the angel overseeing them too, which means it's like it's spiritually sanctioned, or you're supposed to connect, or it's meant to connect. But here we have the silhouette of the mountains embracing not only the angel, but the people. So here for the first time, we see that sense of duality. Okay. It calls to 2 people. It has always called to 2 people. And so while the silhouette is meant to create a second shadow or a second set of wings here, okay, and the complexity of the Lovers is such. How long it's felt, I don't know, but it's always powerfully felt, therefore powerfully influenced. And I see you, when you cross that particular threshold, someone joins you in that space. 4 of Wands is in your strengths, which is beautiful. The same recognition I gave to Aquarius. When you understand relationships are a good thing, you don't feel threatened by relationships. You understand how they enhance you. You understand that you never really know who you are until you're connected to someone else. Now, that's not to be disparaging of folks who choose to live an independent or single life. Not at all. I'm just saying when people understand a 4 of Wands is their strengths, they never really understand who they are until they are intimately sharing themselves with someone else. And that's a choice, and that's a beautiful choice, and I honor that, and I respect it. It's gorgeous. And in many ways, it's true. When you're just on your own all the time, you only understand yourself from your point of view, and you can often lose sight of your strengths. You can lose sight of your weaknesses without someone there to reflect them back on you. In other words, know you. Like know you, you know? And so the 4 of Wands, then, you see that as a strength. I like to build into happy, healthy, constructive relationships. I like things to be secure. I like knowing that I'm sharing my most unique, innermost self with someone else, and they do the same with me. It's like it shares. It shares these, okay? What I experience and build into, I want the same. I want the same reflected back to me. So here we have what I'm assuming then is a mirroring effect. Okay. You believe healthy, constructive relationships are a good thing, and they're a safe thing, and they're something to be valued and prized. That means in some way they do too. Okay. The Knight of Cups is in your environment. Yeah, you got the feels, honey. You got the feels for this. And I like how that you are allowing yourself to feel your way towards it, to romanticize it, and also to receive it in return. I like this. I see you being vulnerable to this, opening up towards this, opening your heart space towards this, and it's going to feel so freaking good. Strengths and hopes and fears. Am I being strong positive or being strong negative? Because that tarot lady talks about it all the time. Yeah, I do. Because strengths is one of those cards that's given all the bukus, right? All the pros, all the benefits, and very rarely do people talk about its cons. And then the same with the Tower. It's all cons. It's all doom and gloom. It's and never the pros. And I'm here to tell you, I'm happy to tell you all signs, all elements, everything in tarot, just like in real life, imagine that, has pros and cons, black and white, rose and thorn. So you hope to have strength to pursue this, and you're afraid that maybe you don't, because strength, you can go like this and mean it, and you can go like this and mean it. Either way, you're using the same level of energy. Strength to push away, strength to pull towards. What if I pull this towards me? What if I push it away from me? Oh. Am I using strength correctly? You will know when you're in it. Okay? You will know when you're in it. It will either feel good or it won't. Okay? Oh, don't excuse. I know it sounds so violent. If you hear my tummy, please don't. I'm what you call a scheduled eater. So when I eat off schedule or I'm running late, my tummy lets me know. Every time. I know it sounds so dramatic and people are appalled. Please don't be. I am so used to it, and I'm telling you, I'm talking like it's a matter sometimes of 10 minutes or less. Well, that's just embarrassing. This is less than 5 minutes and already my stomach's kicking off. Well, that's just embarrassing. Okay. Well, excuse the noise. It's entirely involuntary. Let me reassure you. And no cause for concern. Okay. Please, no panic comments. Jeez Louise, promise you. This is just how it is for me. Judgment and the outcome. I like that, actually. Given what I've seen here, whichever this is, it has a very strong note, if you will, of meant to be. The accumulation of lessons learned, making good judgments, okay, with ourselves, with others, particularly this person, making good choices together, or for each other. But whatever this is, it kind of feels, spiritually speaking, as a crowning achievement. It really does. It hits a lot of good notes. I like it quite a bit. It's one of those beautiful songs, that's my list, that I could probably listen to over and over again. Beautiful songs. What's going on? Let's get some advice, please, for Gemini. Sorry about that little lecture at the opening there. I just want people to understand the difference between a prohibited fool, so it can come out as impulsive, but not necessarily bad, versus, an actual foolish person. No, there's nothing foolish here about what you feel. I think it's just the prospect of it's a little scary. So every now and again you might have an impulsive behavior, but it's actually not. It's based on a lot of build-up of what you have been denying yourself. And like I said, that Nine of Wands is kind of tired of putting up a fight. Anyway, Seven of Cups, the Empress. We want to open up to someone of high status, VIP, as I would call the Emperor and Empress. Okay. We really want to open up. All right. Explore emotions with this person. Be vulnerable. Start the process. Just open up. This is the life force, the life bringer, right? The one who produces strong maternal instinct, or just frankly someone who's very generous in their love and care, time, and attention, but has a lot to offer. Okay. What else, please? And Three of Pentacles. You hope that they cooperate. Let's not label it as friendship, because I can tell you right now that's already been ruled out. This is not friendship. But if you're saying I got to start somewhere practically, then yes, practically I agree with you. You do have to start somewhere. And just make sure that whatever you put into this is given back. Okay. And express yourself naturally. We're worried about that element. Will they cooperate? Will they give back? Will they open up? Okay. We're afraid once more of our rejected heart space, or perhaps we have previous experience about a rejected heart space here. Two of Wands, Ace of Cups, the Ten of Swords. This could be old pain that's still haunting you to this day. You always showed me that you are familiar with rejection in the heart space. And like I told you already, the worst of what you have experienced and influenced that actually helped reshape you or transform you or change in some way, that's already happened. Okay? Work with what you have now, so that can carry and propel you into the future. I understand heart pain is real. Perhaps you're respecting your sense of what they might have gone through. I don't quite know. But I agree with you. You do got to start somewhere. And there's no better place to start than the Seven of Cups with the Empress. Okay? It's okay. Somebody's love cup here was rejected, or it wasn't discussed properly. Something about that. Okay? So I can see why you don't want to push it perhaps beyond a Seven of Cups and a Three of Pentacles, and just wanted to see where you're at or how you were doing or talk about this. Yeah. Okay, that kind of makes sense, but just make sure that it's clearly understood. This isn't a friendship thing. Your heart space has shown me that. Outcome has shown me that, and the bridge has shown me that. Remember, the Three of Pentacles, and we're talking about emotions. The difference between friends and lovers. One, you shake their hands. The other one, you're holding their hand. Okay? We want to make sure that we end up in a position of holding hands with this person, not shaking it. All right. The wealthy man. Someone here is attributed to wealth. Also, my list was really kicking in for you today. The number 13, and some of you, you're the wealthy man. Congratulations. Or we're rich indeed, or prosperous indeed. Something. Oh, and we want our match. Yes, we do. We want our match. Yes, number 29. That's our Empress. What, red pops on that person a little bit? Number 29, 13. Anything else here, please? And does the Empress here have a child? Like I said, sometimes the Empresses can be largely associated with that maternal energy or instinct, as well as being productive or high producer or, someone of value. But someone here, I'm strongly feeling this is not the child as in metaphor, childlike dependency. I'm seeing it as actual child. Someone here has a child. Yes. Okay. Very good. Oh, excuse the background noise. It is pickup day. We have one letter, L. Yeah, definitely. There's the child medallion. Confirmation, child or children are involved. Okay. We have a little bicycle here. Confirmation for some of you. Some of you, that is the way that you engage in exercise. And then for others of you, the bicycle for some reason is important. A symbol, it means something. We have a dog tag here. The key word on this dog tag is protected. Some of you might have a military background, okay? In which case, bless you. But in the general respect that we are protected in this, or that this is a connection worth protecting. And then we have the chakra in alignment. Good, we're in alignment. And then we have two medallions here, one of Cancer, one of Aquarius. Imaginative as well as friendly. Any of these placements might be key to your chart in some way. Theirs or their seasons, which Aquarius once more is right around the corner. Okay, Aquarius season. All right, Gemini honey, I do hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Libra, welcome to your Thursday check-in. What's going on for Libra? Show me. Libra, please. What's going on for Libra? Eight of Pentacles. Challenging. Nine of Swords was stressed about work a little bit. Crowning is you. Okay. Justice. All right. Remain constant. Knight of Pentacles in the past. Exiting. Three of Wands. Before you is the Five of Pentacles in future. Strengths is the Nine of Wands. Two of Wands is in your environment. The Emperor. Hopes and fears. And the outcome is the Ten of Cups. Yeah, I know you want to be harmonious. Okay. You got some fear on your mind. Nine of Swords. You were thinking about work. The production specifically. Anxiety there, perhaps there's an increase of stress around work issues these days, your 3D materials. It doesn't necessarily have to be directly tied back to finances. It's a sense of my environment that I structure it. It stresses me out these days. It's not as smooth as I would like it to be. It's not a working operation the way I'd like it to be. So there seems to be some, not too bad. Nine of Swords is still challenging, okay? So it suggests then that this can be worked through or overcome, and that's on your mind as well. You are crowning with justice here. It's like, I got this. I'm going to stay on top of this. I'm going to make sure this gets balanced. So there's a very strong sense of to-do here. Okay, this is what I need to do, and this is what others need to do to keep on top of everything. Make sure it's balanced, make sure it's cool, technical, legal, as well as spiritual. I just got to stay on top of it. Just got to stay on top of it. I'm going to work through these stresses one thing at a time. And so you're being very methodical, and there's a sense of, is all fair? Am I doing my part? Are others doing their parts? And are our parts adding up? It's like, I just need to work through this. I just need to work through this. I just need to work through this. And it's very present oriented. Knight of Pentacles is in your past, and experience has taught you sometimes it's best to make sure that things go slow. The Knight of Pentacles is the only knight associated with a blueprint, plan, or detail. So in this respect, you're like, I want to make sure all my bases are covered and that I'm being thorough and that I know how to take my time, because it's in the past. That doesn't mean it's over. That just means if you experienced it once, you can again. And so you appreciate taking your time. You don't like rushing things because you want everything to be just so in order or in place, abiding by some sort of plan. And as you operate under these methods that are known to you, it is helping to decrease your stress. I agree. This is something that is known to you in terms of when things get real difficult or there's just unexpected stress or anxiety. Around the Pentacle division, this is what I do. This is how I balance things. And I go with that sense of taking my time, taking the pace that I think is necessary, and checking in often. Okay? I agree. Three of Wands is exiting. Good. There's that sense of waiting or delay is over. We have this understanding that waiting often makes things worse. Yes, there is a big difference between taking our time, but it's still forward motion, just slower, versus waiting, which means ain't shit get done. And so when we have the three and we kick the Three of Wands out, we say, you're no good, Three of Wands. I'm not going to wait on jack shit to rescue me or fix this situation. I have a direct hand in this. Then that means we take our power back. So no matter how slow, you're taking your power back by making sure all is well. Am I on top of it? Are they on top of it? And are we all working together? Because it does seem to be a structure that involves more than just you. So again, it could be work, it could be your living environment as well. I don't quite know. It's wherever the current stress is that has the opportunity to take over, but you're doing your best to make sure that it doesn't. Okay, and Three of Wands, like I said, on the exit, that's good. That's always good news in my book. Again, this does not require passivity or the sense of, I hope shit will work out. No, this requires direct hand. Good. Five of Pentacles is before you in future. You know what's weird? I thought you were going to show me upsetness around that. You didn't. I'm not saying it's easy, but there's something here that you're parting ways with, and you're saying it's probably best, which I think is interesting. Given your direct involvement in what looks like a stressful situation at work, possibly in a home environment, I don't know. Eight of Pentacles implies structure, if anything else. Known structure, day to day, predictable. It's almost like you're saying, Five of Pentacles, I accept that if things can get back to normal or distress or de-escalate, which I think is interesting. I thought you were going to show me panic around that Five of Pentacles. Oh, things just got worse. And it's like, no. It's almost like it sucks, but it's the best decision. Oh, now that's interesting. I'm defaulting back to you crowning, is that this requires my direct involvement. I have to be on board. I have to be upfront and make decisions. And so while that Five of Pentacles sucks, sometimes we have to know when to abandon structures or stop putting work into them, specifically time, energy, and effort. If you've been working through it and you arrived to an intelligent consensus that something here is not worth giving time, energy, and effort to or sticking around for, then it's because you had a direct hand in understanding that was best practice. Okay, so like I said, I can see things like Five of Pentacles in the world. It doesn't mean it was a happy champagne time decision. No, a lot of work leads up to those choices, and those are choices, and we shouldn't treat them impulsively or, you know what, this is what I'm going to do now, this is what I'm going to do today, and then that kind of, negates all our steady, direct hand experience. So that tells me that the Five of Pentacles here is an informed decision, one that was probably best case scenario, all right? Like I said, you were directly involved and you wanted to make sure the balance is correct. That doesn't mean just putting up with shit. That's a common misconception about balance. It just means, well, I guess I just keep doing the same thing to make it balanced. No, that means sometimes you have to know when to unbalance things in order to create a new balance or a new place of stasis. Okay. And I think that's what you did. It's after a lot of work, consideration, and consolidation of time, energy, and efforts that I'm seeing here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and default to a work structure, but it may not be for some of you. So you interpret it or resonate with it as you see fit. And that's if you do. You may not. It's kind of like having been involved in this, I see now 5 of Pentacles is probably the best decision for whatever this is. And I think you might be onto that. I really do. Your strengths is 9 of Wands. You're like, I have to know when to block things. I have to know when to shoot things down. I have to know when to stand up for myself. I agree. It's like 9 of Wands can be tricky. But if you see it as an honest strength, then it will be. It's not just blocking. It's also in that sense of I have to know when to stand up for myself. So the 9 of Wands leans into repetition of behavior patterns when we don't resolve things. Well, I just got used to blocking. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm a better person, but that does mean I learned how to shut things down or shut things out. Okay, that's one version of it. So that's repetitious behavior patterns. Again, that doesn't help us. It just makes us more tired. And then there's I am genuinely standing up for myself. And I'm putting a wall up between myself and whatever this is. Okay, so if you want to shut things out, you will. All right, and if you say it's what's best for you, then that's what's best for you. If you say you have to break ways with something because it's in your best interest, then it's probably correct. Okay? I can see where you contributed to this to make sure that it was the correct decision for you. But what I really like is how you said, okay, no more waiting. I can't even say that I'm logically waiting on this to resolve itself anymore. I don't want to do that. I have to be directly involved. And yeah, I completely agree. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to make the decision that you did, or at least accept that 5 of Pentacles with a certain level of grace, and this is how it must be. Your environment, 2 of Wands, are making decisions now that are directly changing your environment. So again, for some of you, this may not be work. It may have to do with living situation that was at least predictable in nature until you understood you don't want it to be part of your environment anymore. So like I said, you may have unbalanced things in order to find your new balance or a new place of stasis, regularity. Okay, so right now you're making, this is active. 2 of Wands is in your home environment. That's active decision making now. And I can see where you put it off as long as you could, but that time's over. You're like, I got to make this decision now. You have enough experience and direct involvement to, like I said, make this choice with a certain level of grace and dignity. I can see that if you want to block it, you will. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and that you're not just causing additional exhaustion to yourself. In other words, this is a constant behavior pattern for you that when shit gets real, you block it. I don't think that this is that. So just make sure you use your 9 of Wands correctly. All right? Standing up for yourself that this is the best decision. That tells me others may not agree with it. All right? And like I said, you have to do what's right for you sometimes. You have to. It doesn't mean it's comfortable. It doesn't mean it's easy. But that does mean it's correct, at least for ourselves. All right? The Emperor's in the hopes and fears. Oh, did I showcase the right level of power? Okay. Yeah. No, this is what happens when we make these kind of decisions. You know, people will show me I got nothing on my mind like Aquarius did, or I try not to let my fears get away from me. There's people who are like, oh boy, what did I do? Okay. The Emperor, that's a big daddy right there in the hopes and fears. Hopes and fears is a guarantee of nothing. It's just simply a reflection of who we are. I hope I stood in my power. I'm afraid I didn't. What if I did the wrong thing? What if I did the right thing? That's a good thing, right? Yes. If you did the right thing and you did it the right way, then you are showing empowerment, which again is why I'm defaulting to your 9 of Wands being in your strengths there for a reason. You stood up for yourself. And if you're someone who really had to tip your scales or upset your scales in order to find a new balance, that means other people probably got affected. That's again what I'm saying is 8 of Pentacles. Not necessarily work. More like a closer to home environment. You're going to want to know that you made a good decision, right? So you got to be able to stand behind it. Okay? So no, I don't think some of you, it's like when shit gets real, you just put a wall on it and just call it a day. No, I think you want to know if you made the right decision. You need to be able to stand behind it as the Emperor, right? So once you lean into the hope, here's what will answer your question. As your environment shifts and changes, do you feel better? Personally, you. Don't factor in other people. You can't account for other people. This is why you have to make decisions based on you. If you're concerned about making other people happy with your decisions, then you yourself will never personally be happy. You have to know when you have to see yourself and count yourself as an individual versus other people. Okay? Because here's what's funny. In your outcome is the Ten of Cups. I see you emotionally harmonized with the people who matter most in your life. Things get easier for you. They do. All right? So whatever this is, you need to understand that this decision's for you. It's all about you. You have to do what's right for you. Even if others disagree or they don't care for your decision very much. You're saying, but it was in my best interest, though. That doesn't mean you have to agree with it or even like it. But you'd have to ask yourself, would you have done the same? And if you have a different answer, that's your answer. It wasn't mine. Because you still have the Ten of Cups in the outcome. Whatever this is still allows you to have an emotional circle that's important to you. And the Ten of Cups is emotional harmony with those people who actually matter in your life. And you want them to be in your life, your intimate circle. Okay? So I'm glad that you are changing your environment, because it looks like in the outcome, it's actually more inclusive as opposed to stressful in this back and forth, almost tacky acting like everything's cool when it's not, you know? One, environment's loving and supportive and what I should see in your environment, as opposed to this is a really tricky, delicate dance of cooperation and getting along. Let's get some advice, please. Again, if you want to know if you were empowered, do you feel better about your decision? Seven of Wands, there it is again. The Nine of Cups and the Lovers. That's interesting. Showing me a protective stance over someone that you care about. Very much. What does that have to do with this? I mean, I respect that. There it is again, but this time it's in a protective stance. Seven of Wands, Nine of Cups, and the Lovers. It says it pleases you to be protective of a strong connection. That's cool. You're saying you're protecting that. Four of Swords, resting and healing on this particular subject. Queen of Pentacles, knowing your worth and your value. Yes, I agree. The Six of Cups, there it is again. We have a lot of strong reflection here about what is worthy of us, and this I do not disagree with. You've actually had some really deep inner dialogue with yourself privately. This was largely external. The advice cards are showing me something that's internalized. You've had a lot of strong healing reflections and insights about yourself and your sense of self-worth, deeply tied to a soul bond, the Six of Cups and the Lovers. You're very protective of it, extremely protective of it. At first, I thought you were blocking again. It's like, no. You're saying this connection is for me. You're saying it's very much mine. And you are emotionally protective of it. And you've thought about it many times over in your mind that you know it's yours. And you reflect on how much it makes you feel in touch with your worth. You're saying you don't get that here. And that you're kind of tired of always trying to balance it and balance it and balance it. And that's why you've ultimately decided to break from it, so that way you can develop a new balance for yourself. And you achieve it at the end. It's one that's emotionally harmonious, and anything and anybody could be in that Ten of Cups. But the point is that's your inner circle, honey. Those are your inner cups. Okay? I was not convinced this was work. Still not. It looks like a disjointed home environment that's repetitious in nature. It's nailed down. It's on a schedule. It's on an agenda. But it's not comfortable. You've had to learn to play along with it to make it feel even. But when your advice cards show me it's a rich inner world. A rich inner world where you are strongly protective of an emotional connection that is the Lovers. Okay? You're saying that's an influence that's for me. And I've thought about it many times. And you know what it does? It raises my worth. It raises my value. It wants the best for me. And a healthy Six of Cups, a healthy soul bond does. It encourages the best in us. It makes us in touch with our self-worth, and it reminds us constantly what our worth is worth. You know, this is how I see you. This is who you really are. This is what you deserve. I have no doubt. That's what we're harmonizing with, and we protect it. You protect it now. But I was wondering more about what we're breaking from over here. Or that you're letting kind of fall out of your life, or you refuse point blank to balance with it anymore. The Star, Five of Swords, what's that? It was a pathway you told yourself to look after over and over again. Five of Swords, it was yours, that you wanted this star pathway for a long time, but that was a lie. Five of Swords. This is my vision, this is my dream, and you lied to yourself about it for a long time. I don't know how long the Five of Swords is different for everybody. And it can run deeply or pretty thinly, again, depending on the person. The Star, Five of Swords, it's like, this is my dream. Whatever this is. This is my dream. This is totally my dream. This is totally what I wanted. It was just something fair, balanced, practical home space. That's it. That's all anybody can ever hope for. This is totally my jam. This is totally how I wanted to live life, or intended to live life. I know there was a lie there. Not all was well. That star wasn't really our star, but we kept trying to tell ourselves it was. You have to understand, the star is a far-reaching vision, honey. That, you know, it may not be sustaining us, but if we're telling ourselves that it is, then we'll believe it. And we'll continue to construct a life around it, which you did. You showed me realistic life elements, not exactly a deep emotional attachment. No. But you're like, this is life. This is what I'm doing to maintain it. Okay. I'm glad that you're making decisions that are changing your environment as we speak. I understand then and better appreciate why your Empress and your hopes and fears. Yeah. You'd want to know. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to lie to yourself about your star, honey. It's either your far-reaching vision, something that you very much desire and hope for, or it's not. And maybe once upon a time it did fit your bill, right, for how to live life. I'm comfortable with this. I'm good here. This is productive. It's stable. This isn't the dream. This is the dream. That's all I want, is a little bit of comfort and predictability, some balancing back and forth. But at some point, it went from a truth to a lie. There it is again, the star with the bullwhip. Hey, you've been very harsh on this one. It's like, you have to stay the course. This is where the compass, we've been very harsh here on ourselves. Our vision has changed. It is dying. Skies. Yeah, there's the dream again and vision, and we've been harshly trying to make ourselves believe keeping this going and maintaining it for a long time. That time has come to an end. Bright, colorful, swift messenger. One, vibrancy on that one is always real. Community, the material woman, a false person. It feels like we bought a false dream or a false hope, or we've been maintaining someone else's false standards. There is something here that's negative. It's coming across as feminine, negative and feminine. It wears a mask. There's a sense of someone who's a little bit older, supposed to know better, maturity. But there's a sense of falseness surrounding this, possibly codependency. There's the message, feeding the community, everything's fine, or everything's good. Everyone believes it. It's a lie. It's a lie. Someone has such a bright and colorful outset, highly believable, and people believe it. Everything's fine in the home. That's enough. I don't want to keep exploring that. I'm more interested in investing in where you're going. And then, of course, I'm curious about what you're trying to extricate yourself from, and it doesn't feel like a home at all. It feels like a balanced system that you told yourself over and over again you had to participate in. It stopped being a dream at some point. More like a maintained reality. The sense of, I have to maintain this. The dog tag here is in reverse. Whatever the situation is, doesn't feel like it's protected, or it's not emotionally protecting or loving or nurturing. We have the key here. You have the key to release yourself from this particular situation, of course, but you have the key ultimately. We have one letter, Y. We have two representations of Pisces here today, the seahorse as well as their medallion. Pisces season might be important to some of you. So you might have some very critical Pisces in your chart, and also the very strong sense of deeply withheld emotions. Deeply felt, but deeply withheld. Okay? And then we have the crescent moon in reverse and upside down. There's nothing to be illuminated here anymore. No deeper insight. Okay? Not our star, not our moon. Okay. Libra, honey, I do hope this helped you. Yours was a little complex today, but very interesting for that reason. But like I said, I hope it helped. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Taurus, welcome to your Thursday check-in. What's going on, please? Show me, Taurus. What's going on? Page of Cups, crossing, temperance, okay. Crowning, Seven of Cups, interesting. In the past, Nine of Wands, exiting, Five of Pentacles. That's good. Three Cups before you in future. That's good. Strengths, the Fool. Yeah. Yes, the Ten of Pentacles. Well, as one would imagine for Taurus, yes, absolutely. Ten of Pentacles in your environment. Well done there. Three of Wands and the hopes and fears. I think that's wise of you. And the outcome, Four of Wands. You go on then. You go on then. This is turning that frown upside down. As I think at one point on one of your last check-ins, I'm like, Taurus, what's going on? What's going on? You're like, but you're working on it. And you have been working on it. Good job. You know, your heart space has come a long way. And it might surprise you, but you're starting to feel it open up. Compared to where you've been, which is keeping your heart space small, kind of safe. And every now and again, you have been showing temperance towards it. I need patience, I need healing, I need time. I need patience, I need healing, I need time. But this wasn't a full-time construct for you. Temperance is sideways. So it's kind of like saying it was like an unconscious sort of healing practice in your heart. You didn't pay it much mind. It's just your heart space was under construction. It doesn't seem like it had your full-time attention. Sometimes you could feel that there was changes in your heart space, softening up, getting a little bigger. But again, it's not like it had your active full-time attention. Temperance suggests on the sideways, it was really hard for you to tune into your own healing practices, which tells me you're not always comfortable listening to yourself. Okay, that's not an accusation. Don't take it as one. True temperance is like a concentrated effort to really get the best from it, the most from it. You have to be aware that your heart is gauging in it, or your spirit is, or your mind. Okay. So while you have not been always fully aware of the fact that your heart space and its landscape specifically has been healing, showing yourself more compassion, more sense of self-love, you're not always tuned into it. Nevertheless, something was going on that suggested, I want to work on feeling better. But it wasn't a direct line of thought. Okay? Nevertheless, you did some work in there. Every now and again, you remember to check in with yourself. Every now and again, you acknowledge within yourself that sense of things for me are changing a little bit, but it wasn't always obvious. Sometimes the day would just feel different, or a particular response you had in any given situation that might have been normal to you. You responded to it differently. Every now and again, you had to stop and you had a moment. We're just like, something about me feels a little different, or I'm interpreting this situation differently. What's going on? And sometimes it was a vague, faraway thought. And I don't get lost to it. I'm just trying to show you that even perhaps without your conscious effort, you made progress in some way. Okay? And I see you opening up towards the Seven of Cups. Things are starting to feel a little different for you these days. You're a little bit more exploratory. You're a little bit more... Am I opening up? Am I trying to feel different feelings? Like, what? It's great. It's really soft. It's very gentle. It's not obnoxious. It's not loud. It's not all of a sudden. It's just a very soft probing, if you will, of the feelings. possibly being open to love. And you're like, is this where I'm at these days? Even you were a little bit surprised, but it's not, again, overwhelmingly surprised either. It's kind of like a gentle recognition. So this is where I'm at. Huh. Okay, well, it's different. And I can see where it's different for you because in the past, 9 of Wands, if you wanted to shut yourself down, put a wall up, no problem. 9 of Wands in the past does not mean it's over. That just means we've had experience with it in the past. We could still do in present day, therefore future. So it's something to be aware of, particularly when you have a blocking element like that with the 9 of Wands that's repetitious in behavior. Like I said, the Taurus I'm looking at, your past behaviors suggest if you want to put a wall up, you will. If you want to shut something down, you will. If you want to stand there, be angry and put a, just be defensive, leave me alone, whatever, you will. Okay? So again, that was repetitious. Some of you in behavior patterns, emotional behavior patterns. You're familiar with the subject. And if you still wanted to, you could. It's just, that's not where you are now. You don't want to be automatically shut off, and you don't automatically want to put a wall up between yourself and what you're experiencing anymore. No. We've been gently easing our way through that. 5 of Pentacles is exiting. This is good news. I've been seeing a little too many 5 of Pentacles attached to you guys these days. Now, it is one of your minor court cards, so am I surprised? No, that doesn't mean I'm happy to see it for you, though, but that does mean you can handle it better than a lot of folks. Some sort of breakage or abandonment, you feeling the effects of it, most likely the reason why you had a wall just as an automatic response between yourself and what you were feeling and what others were feeling. Wall. Okay. Now that that's exiting, the heavy processing of the breakage and or abandonment, what that means, what you learned from it, recovering from it, that's all on its way out at long last. Exiting. Not getting so hurt anymore by something that's already done. Okay. 5 of Pentacles with you guys, while you can accommodate it better, it can linger a little too long with you all. Okay. You tend to hold on to stuff, even stuff that's broken or abandoned. Like, I remember once with Capricorns reading a long time ago, it's like, why are you guys holding on to broken toasters? You know it doesn't work and you know you're not going to repair it. Get rid of it. And for you in that kind of similar vein, some of you had a broken something and you held on to it for a long time, even though its purpose had long since stopped. Okay? You know you can let it go, you can throw it away, you can replace it if you want. All right? It doesn't hit like it used to. So therefore, I see what looks like an unintended softening, learning, and healing without you being directly aware of it. So little by little, your walls are coming down these days. A little bit more open instead of shut off. I like it. It's good. It's progress. And you're going to have proof of your progress soon. 3 of Cups is in the future for you. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Isn't that going to feel so much better? The answer is yes. So when? I don't know, but it's right around the corner from where you are. So that's near future proximity. We have reason for rejoice and celebration and the lightening of energies. What you're connecting to, I don't know. I don't care. It looks good on you. It makes you happy, and I want you to rejoice in good company. I like what this does for you. It lightens you up, and it allows you to kind of gently probe these feelings that you're getting reacquainted with, such as happiness and connectivity and feeling good about you and just frankly smiling a little bit more. And that's nice. That's always a good thing. So that 3 of Cups, it could be one person. It could be a couple of folks. I don't know. I don't care. But if you have some stuff coming up, I want you to say yes. I want you to go have some fun. It looks like you're coming out of your shell, if you will. And you outgrew it, which you needed to. Okay? All right. In your strengths, the Fool. Yeah, I bet. If you want to be, yeah. So the Fool, let me give you that spiel, okay? Like all cards in tarot, they have pros and cons, all elements, all energies, all signs, okay? The Fool can either be foolish in the con, impulsive, we're just going to do it, see what happens, and we're kind of forcing ourselves to do it. And then there's the Fool organic, which is the good one. I feel it. I feel like now's the time. This is a new beginning me, and I got to go towards it. I got to take a risk. I got to open up. I got to do this thing. And so some of you, when you know you get that feeling that it is indeed time, and you have hope, and you lean into the hope of a new beginning, or some sense of taking a risk here, but I like it. It's a sense of being brave and taking something on and allowing yourself to be included into new things in your life or re-engaging with old stuff. I don't care, just so long as it makes sense to you. That's beautiful. I love that. I like to see that for more people, actually. It's a great strength to have. All right, Ten of Pentacles in your environment. You're founded, you're grounded, you're gravy. That's good. You're like, I'm connected. I do all right. Yeah. Anyway, you're founded and grounded and you look good. Ten of Pentacles is great. Congratulations to you for that's in your environment. You either have one or you don't. And if you know what that is, you knew what it took to get there and what it takes to maintain it, which is honestly more work than creating it. So for your Ten of Pentacles, congratulations in your environment. Like I said, it's pretty solid. It's stable as heck. This is good. This is an ideal environment for Taurus. That's brilliant. I can see that you're heavily connected, heavily resourced, and that what you're connected to, your community, etc., is a lot to you, as well as your personal sense of stability. So that is beautiful. You feed that which feeds you. Excellent. This is ideal for Taurus. I'm very happy for you on that. Hopes and fears. Three of Wands. That's very wise of you. In that sense, I want to hope for good things for myself, but I also don't want to feel like I'm waiting for them. Yeah, I like that. That makes sense. I respect that. You've heard me and my thoughts on waiting. Typically, it does most of us no good. And most of us don't realize that until after we spent a good portion of our lives waiting on something. And then how many years later, it's like, I probably shouldn't have waited on that. Yeah. So that we have to differentiate, yes, between hope and knowing that that's a good thing. Hope for hope. But I'm afraid that I'll put myself in a position of waiting. So how do you know the difference? Well, you're either waiting for something to happen, and you're kind of happily twiddling your thumbs, telling yourself it's cool, or you're engaging with life, and you're like, come what may. I hope for good things. Guess which Taurus I'm talking to? You already showed me what your strengths are. So your hopes and fears, a guarantee of nothing. It's simply a reflection of who you are. If you're out there, and you're feeling the Fool organically, and you're connecting, and you are appreciating what you have, and you continue to feed it like it feeds you, continue to let go of that which is broken and disconnected, open up to new, then you will be indeed living by the code of the Fool. And you should be in a position of waiting for nothing, living for life and hoping for the right kind of hope. Okay? The outcome is Four of Wands, some sort of relationship, yeah? Either one that you're already in or you will be, okay? Let's get some advice. Otherwise, congratulations. I can see that structure and stability suits you. It looks like you would take to relationship energy very naturally and easily here, especially someone who prides themselves on Ten of Pentacles. That means you know how to build things and construct things, and you know what you put into it. Therefore, you should know what you should get back from it as well. But this Four of Wands is more like a personal stabilizer, whereas the Ten of Pentacles is a comprehensive self in our environment where we find ourselves again and again. So, point is, if you do good in one, typically most people do good in the other too. All right. What's up? Ace of Pentacles, King of Swords, the Five of Cups. You're like, it's time I let go of the past and I made new opportunities for myself. It's kind of like I'm tired of being down in the dumps. I'm tired of ruminating over past. I want brand new opportunities for me. And you've kind of put your mind upon this as a focus. Very good. Okay. Generating those new opportunities for yourself. I'm going to make them happen, Captain. Heck yeah. Anything else, please? Page of Pentacles, the Lovers, Two Wands. And it's like, I got to start somewhere. Okay? I love how you threw that out there towards the end. You know, you got to start somewhere. You might as well go for the big one. You know, you crack me up sometimes. You really do. Honestly, honey, I can see you drag so hard. And it's like, down here. And I'm always going to be down here. And I'm angry. And I'm mad. And I'm upset. And then there's, you know what? Everything's awesome. And I'm going to make some good investments. That's what I'm going to do. You're like, just when I see you making a strong decision for yourself. Now, mind you, this makes sense for a Taurus. You know what? This opportunity, any opportunity I make is one I make for myself. I'm determined upon that. I don't want to get caught up in the pains of the past anymore. It's time to let things go. And you're recognizing that and how you've been gently unfolding into this, right? So it might come out as a rational thought to you, but I promise you there's a background work that you're just now starting to acknowledge. Okay, so one's catching up to you. And that's cool too. We all have different processes. So I respect that. That's very you. But then you're like, you know, gotta start somewhere though. Page of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Two of Wands. It's like you got to get it going, right? We got to get it going. You said there's a Four of Wands in the outcome. Well, you might as well invest in the best. I agree with you, Taurus. You might as well invest in the best, honey. Go on then. You got a lover. You got to start somewhere. Two of Wands, the conversation. That's as good as anything. You're right. Page of Pentacles. I could talk. I could talk. Yeah, start there. Yeah, start there, honey. Start there. That's great. I love that. I love that. I like that. And I really like how you're kind of taking this inner acknowledgement here about, because I think your hopes and fears really reflect your full strength. I don't want to get caught in this situation where I'm always waiting for hope. I want to create those things for myself. I want to allow myself to go open towards it and just, I don't want to just hope. To hope, which means I'm always waiting. No, I want to engage with life. I want to make my own decisions. I want to live in this energy. I want to decide and do for myself. Home and the whip. Some of you have been very harsh on yourselves, or you feel like there has been possibly a harshness in your home environment. Messages. There's a beating up element here, which I see for you from time to time, and I don't agree with it. Sometimes you guys can be extremely hard on yourselves, particularly when it comes to your own personal sense of home and or security. I just want you to know the Taurus I'm looking at, I'm secure. I'm secure. You're secure. And your home should be a place of sanctuary and comfort and care. Okay? So maybe stop being so hard on yourself about the expectations of homes and what that means. If you really want a relationship where you're starting to invest in the best, make sure that you treat yourself that way first. You are the investment first. Otherwise, everything you put yourself into doesn't mean much if you don't understand what your worth and value is first. So maybe ease up a little bit on your expectations around home, okay? There's a harshness in there about what home is and what it should look like, and I don't know, there's some sort of driving force here that I don't like it. It feels so unnecessarily harsh. Mountains, challenges, wanting to point in a different direction. Home and the sense of home and security shouldn't be this hard. I agree. That I absolutely agree on. You're right. It shouldn't be this hard. This idea of home and security and relationship, it shouldn't be this hard. Why is it such a challenge? Maybe I should point in a different direction. I completely agree with you. 21 and 42. All right. You shouldn't be that hard on yourself either. If it makes you feel that bad, how secure can it be? I mean, honestly. We have the letter K and D. We have 3 medallions here. Gemini, Sag. Oh, double Gemini. Some of you might have some very critical, possibly obscure Gemini placements in your chart. Be mindful of that. Keyword here twice, intelligent. Okay, very intelligent some of you are. Some of you have double Gemini. Gemini season might be important to some of you, which would also be the Lover's card explained for some of you. Next Gemini season might be very important. Okay, and then we have the snake in reverse. No viciousness here. No venom. No venomous nature. You know, not wanting to bite anything or anything like that. No. No poor intent. We want the balance here with the yin and yang. We want the balance and the incorporation, the true incorporation of our black and white selves. Okay? Because we are a dance of both. All right, Taurus, honey, I do hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Virgo, welcome to your Thursday check-in. What's up? Show me, Virgo. Show me, Virgo. Page of Swords. All right. The Star. Oh, honey, stop looking, start doing. I mean, crowning you. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Past. Justice. Okay. Exiting death. Cool. Before you, Ace of Wands. Go. Challenges. Six of not challenges, strengths. Strengths. Six of Pentacles. It's fine. Environment. Ace of Swords. Ooh. The Fools in your hopes and fears. Outcome, the Empress. I say take the chance. Now's the time, too. Apparently, it's... The definition is soon, eh? Yeah. We're talking as of Aquarius season. I don't always interpret that automatically as a timestamp, any of the power cards, but the way you're keeping your eye on this suggests to me straight away you want to know when. Now. Okay. Maybe some of you intentionally are waiting until after Sunday. I don't. This is very specific. And that's fine. I don't mind sometimes when it's overly specific because people will be like, oh, yeah, that's okay. I absolutely know that's me. Other people are going to be like, that's not me. And then you know, in which case, if it's not yours at all, check out your other placements. The Virgo I'm looking at, you got your eye on something and it means a lot to you, but you're like, I haven't done anything with it yet. But it's on your mind, like right now. Knight of Swords, like literally it's on your mind. You're eyeballing it. I want to act towards it. I want to take communication towards it because the sword is the implication of both of our thoughts and actions and intentions. And you're all but rearing out the door. You're like it's a countdown. Like this is you looking at your little Virgo watch or looking at your Virgo calendar. You're like, see, it's on the calendar. Like, and some of you specifically, you're waiting to trigger something that's important to you. And I'm looking at a countdown, to be honest with you. If we were doing an in-depth, I'd probably call it something like that. I'm looking at a countdown, Virgo. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. You look amped up. You're like, I just gonna keep my eye on it. I gotta wait for the time to be right. And I keep getting that star. It's the Aquarius season. It's almost here. Are you ready? It looks like you are. The Knight of Swords is crowning you. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do this thing. So whatever this is, I don't know. It's up to you because the star is a far-reaching concept of vision and hope and desire and to a lesser extent healing. But it, that comes down to, is it your pathway? In which case it will heal you if you pursue it and you're on it and it does well for you. But for the most part, it's the heights of our vision, what we aspire to reach to. Ooh. Right? And you're like, oh, Knight of Swords. I know. Ooh. Ooh, are you nervous? Are you excited? You just can't wait to get in there, take action. I don't know what it is, honey. It could be a big plan. It could be a small plan. I don't know, but it's something. All right. Just as in the past, that doesn't mean it's over. That means you've had experience with it before. It's like, I know how to balance. I know how to balance. That's good. We have to know how to use justice for ourselves, situations, something that's important to us like the star. We have to understand that we're balancing along the way. So that's a great skill for you to have exposure to. It's like make sure that it's correct as you go along, right? Technically, spiritually, whatever, emotionally, just make sure that it's balanced, it's correct. And there's a sense of you will always do right by you so long as you are listening. Is this correct for me? Okay? So I like that you are experienced to justice or that you have exposure to justice, that sense of correctness. That's good. That's going to aid you along your journey. So I know it's vague. That's okay. That I'm just glad you have the experience because as you go along, you'll proceed and you'll know how to proceed so long as it's correct to you. Death is on the exit. Something here has exited, it's cycled out, it's transformed, or it's ending for which you're familiar with, and its process, what it means, is in a place of behind you. Okay, so that's good. It's all good. Tower in past position, whatever it was, we've absorbed it. Death is in the exiting position. Excuse me, not past, exiting. Death in the exiting position, it says that there's an ending here, or there's a transformative effect that took effect. Either way, we've processed it, and we're ready to move forward. And you are. You've shown me aces a couple of times. So some of you are up for brand new beginnings, or these represent a kind of like brand new Virgo energy. This is what I have to work with, and these are the areas I'm going to apply it. So I see you connecting to whatever it is that you are desiring in future, and it is marked with success. So congratulations. It's... You're glowing a little bit. There's a sense of triumph in there, but it's not like Six of Wands triumph. It's like... Yeah. You're excited. You're nervous. You've marked yourself with a new beginning. There's something here, an ending that's on its way out, finalized, completes, transformative effect completes, and you're pursuing something now that means something to you. It's a high priority goal. I don't know if it's an earthbound concept such as work. I don't know if it's love. I don't know if it's just you living life on your terms now. Maybe it's a little bit of all those things. I don't know. But I'm very excited for you. This is really cool. Oh boy, look at that energy. Oh my goodness. You look so fresh and alive once you meet that point or that juncture in your mind that is the day. You're going to start activating your wish. Look at you go. Look at you go. Look at that burst of enthusiasm. What I like is how you keep yourself in check, though. You're like, I'm all about the balance. I can see that the balance is important to you. So Six of Pentacles is like justice. Justice has the spiritual kind of implication of karmic balance and doing right for the self in situations. It can also represent technical legal justice as well. Six of Pentacles is a reflection of the physical 3D balance, and you're saying you appreciate all those things. And I'm happy that you appreciate those particular strengths. According to you, there's not much you can't balance, so long as you know that you want to or you understand that it's correct. Bravo. That's well done. Ace of Swords in your environment. You know, it's almost like you're living a cutting-edge truth now. And it's kind of exciting, isn't it? It's kind of exhilarating to live by your truth, isn't it? And it is your truth. Whatever your Ace of Swords is to you, the point is that you figured it out. Okay, for yourself. Whatever your one truth is, you will be living by it. Okay, and it's very important. So the Ace of Swords isn't just a thought or a truthful expression. It's also the willingness to act on what you know. So the willingness to act on your truth. And as I say, you look inspiring, honey. You look breathtaking. You look refreshing. Because it's exciting when people really feel like they have the means to live life on their terms and they're excited. I don't know where you're coming from. I'm more interested about where you're going. Whatever it is that has ended, transformed, or changed, you understand now. It's kind of like saying, this is the making of me, not the ending of me. And I couldn't agree more. So whatever your truth is, it suits you very well. Abide by it. It is like a cutting-edge truth. Oh my gosh. And the Fool is in your hopes and fears, which again, I think is very reasonable. It's a hopeful, wonderful thing, a happy thing to open up and be the Fool and take on new beginnings, but it's a little scary too. Lots of folks have been showing me the Fool in various positions today. So I know it's with a lot of people. Just know the difference between being the Fool, which is good, and being foolish, which is more about impulsivity and kind of egging ourselves on to do something we know we probably shouldn't. So that's impulsive and more negative. The positive Fool suggests, let's do it, let's bring it on. And you are absolutely in the bring it on category. And I love that. I'm so excited for you. The Empress in the outcome. You either sitting pretty or that's someone very important to you in the outcome. I'd like a little bit more about who that is. It's either you, because you are living up to your ideals, your hopes, and your dreams. And there's no stopping you. I don't want to. I don't think anybody should. I don't think they should dare get in your way. But it's not even like a dare thing or a challenge thing. It's just when you live on your terms, you know, because you're not stopping to consult anyone. Right? You're like, I'm doing this because it's right for me. And I like how you are moving forward unchallenged by yourself and anything else. You know? I like this a lot. So the Empress could be you, the heights of productivity, generosity of self, spirit, you know, self-made Virgo right there, or that's someone whom you care a great deal about. Okay, so let's get some advice, please. I see you upholding the honor of your truth in your environment. I don't know what that is, but it almost looks like an oath. I would dare say it is an oath. I'm wanting to call it an oath. A promise you made to yourself or someone else. You're living up to it. That's the intent anyway. What? I just heard New Year's Day. That's you too. I don't know why. I will begin again. I suppose that's one lyric in there. I will begin again. I will be with you again. I will begin again. Something like that. I don't know. Okay. Ace of Wands. Page of Cups. Page of Pentacles. We talking to somebody, and the investment is tentative. I would dare say it's shy, a little bit sweet. That's okay. That was just telling Taurus, you got to start somewhere. And Taurus, like, I know, they brought it up first. And that was a logical conclusion from Taurus. You got to start somewhere. And I'm just telling you the same thing. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. I got 2 pages talking. It's sweet. It's shy. Oh my God. They're not the same person. It's 2 little pages. Despite the warmth of your spiritual conviction, I got these 2 people who are like, huh, it's sweet. It's not imposing in either direction. I just know that there's a conversation going back and forth between these 2. I think you got to start somewhere. It may have nothing to do with love. I don't know. It could be whatever it is that represents you engaging and initiating with your truth. Your sense of balance, your sense of goal orientation. I honestly don't know. Knight of Wands, 9 of Swords, and Strength. Oh boy. You got a case of nervous pudding here. And someone trying not to show it. Nerves are nerves. You can either use strength to push this away or pull it towards you. Either way, it's going to take strength. Either way, it's going to represent nerves. So again, strength in a power position that's positive suggests, I don't care how nervous this makes me. I'm doing it. You know what? This makes me too damn nervous. I'm going to push it away. You know, kind of like the fool being in the hopes and fears. Am I being foolish or am I being hopeful? You know, am I being a good fool or a bad fool? Am I nervous to the point of shutting down, or the nerves representation, or the nerves representing what it is I really want? And that's all it is. Of course, that's all it is. But if we play into that 9 of Swords too much, especially if you have strength of will and you feel like pride's getting in there, yeah, you can see where you shut it down too. Choice is yours. But for some reason, this conversation makes us nervous. It makes us nervous. Oh, the good ones do, though. The best conversations are the ones that make you go, Yeah, no, of course. This is great. This is everything. Oh, you know what? Everything's just going so well. And on the inside, you're just just gripping with something you can't understand, but you feel it so intensely, you know? So yeah, it's neighbors. Maybe it's running both ways, you know? All right. Oh, but the best conversations, honey. You can go, you're having those unconscious behaviors of touch, and just adjust and shifting and moving. That's all nerves, and it's normal. It's normal. It's normal. Okay. We have the main female. You either identify as the main female, or this is our Empress out here in the outcome. She who bears the rose. Okay, that sense of femininity, generosity, love, high value. Adjudication, balance. Ooh, there it is again. That strong sense of balance in you. Fairness, fair play. Hearing both sides. Both sides. It's fun having a lisp. It's very humbling too. I highly recommend it for that reason. Okay, distant horizon, adjudication. Ooh, yeah. There's that vision again. Eye on the situation. It was a little further out. A sense of fairness is attached to you, not once but twice. Balancing things in due time and due course. We had our eye on this. We had our eye on this. Oh, yes. Oh, very clever. But not like bad clever. It's just, there's a sense of timing is right. But it wasn't some vague concept. It actually has a date, apparently. It has a date, you know? The mature man. You're like, I know some stuff. So, number 5, mature man. This is someone who you might meet the demographics. They might meet the demographics. Someone who's a little bit middle-aged or older, but the idea is that they've earned their wisdom. They have the globe, the books behind them. You know, so it's a little bit of you mixed with the Hierophant in this one, that sense of wisdom. But the mature man, and just knowing better, knowing oneself, right? Having traveled the world, or the idea is that they've learned some stuff along the way. Yeah, I got these. Is there age difference between you two? I'm just saying it's there in the cards. So I'm just pointing it out. It doesn't have to be an absolute, and it's not a judgment call. Okay, I could give a shit. I don't care. I don't care. It's just for some of you it's confirmation. Yeah, there might be an age difference. You know. But it's so funny. When you two talk to each other, you're both nervous. Hey, you both feel a little small, tentative. That's okay. Your equals where it counts, you know? Demographics between you two might be different. Age, race, ethnicity, language, culture. Okay. All right. Somebody might have a child. Fantastical thinking, dreamer, big dreamer. Here we have the fantasy of fiction here in the book. So perhaps someone who spends a lot of time in their imagination or is very, very creative. Or like I said, simply someone here in this situation might have a child. Okay? Number 13. All right. Good for you, though. Good for you both. You both a little bit nervous pudding, I think. All right. We have your medallion, of course. The keyword here being practical, optimist, Sagittarian, and then Taurus. Like, yeah, you might have Taurus in your chart. The incentivizer. So any of these placements you might have critically in your chart could be connecting to, or the seasons might be important to you for some reason. Here we have the Ten of Pentacles and or the Tree of Life. Your roots are important to you. Okay, what you're connected to and why, how deeply they run, and what you nurture them with. It has done well for you. Continue on in this way. Also, that tells me, I think, whomever this is anchored to that Ten of Pentacles in some way. In other words, you're familiar with the environment, the both of you. Okay, here we have the Wheel of Fortune as well as the World. As doors close, they also open, but time always moves forward. It never moves backwards. Here we have the Unicorn, the sense of magical thinking, the sense of majesty, special powers, sense of intuition, understanding the difference and uniqueness and specialness in the qualities of others. Magical person, magical thinking, magical feeling. Something like that. And the letter N. Okay. Virgo, honey, I hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Capricorn, welcome to your Thursday check-in and last call for happy birthdays. My dearest Capricorns. What is going on? Happy birthday, Capricorn. What's up? I hope that you have been a happy Cappy during your birthday season. What's going on? Show me. Capricorn. Page of Wands. The Empress. Okay. Four of Wands crowning. Past. Nine of Pentacles. Exiting. Page of Cups. Before you. Six of Pentacles. Okay, Strengths, Ace of Swords. Page of Swords is in the environment. Three of Wands in the hopes and fears, and the outcome is the Queen of Cups. It's interesting. Straight away, you opened up with a bit of nervousness being open towards someone of the Empress, someone that crosses you. It's only in the challenge position because we're struggling to open up to someone who we feel could be a very strong, important somebody in our life. And you're kind of showing me a little bit of nervousness, but hey, you're not the first person who seems to be I'm opening up towards this. I'm introducing myself. You and several other folks have been showing me that. So it's actually kind of nice as people have been closing things out and letting things go. They're kind of turning around and saying hello to other people. So it's been interesting to see that. And this is someone who is kind of up there, you know, VIP status maybe, the Emperor and Empresses. Nah, I'm not saying that you're not one yourself. It's just a representation of nerves with the Page of Wands. So again, it's nervous. Yeah, we're nervous. We're nervous. But we know who this is. And Four of Wands is crowning you. There's a sense of relationship is crowning you. It's on your mind. It's on your mind. Some sort of relationship energy here. You've been on your own with the Nine of Pentacles in your background. So I can see that you are someone who typically prides themselves on their own sense of individuation, which is good. You should always know who you are as a person before you start talking about what you can bring to the table. You know, a lot of people have no idea what they can bring to the table because they've never really been on their own. So I'm glad that you have that reflection. It's a point that I tried to point out to people often. It's just, I don't get to see it like this too much, so this is good. So yeah, I mean, you've got stuff to represent you too. It's just when we start to see somebody as a potential equal and we are relationship minded, you know, we get nervous a little bit and we start to forget I'm a Nine of Pentacles, or I'm an Emperor too, or I'm an Empress too. And, you know, it's because we're looking at somebody and we want to know. We're curious. We're just opening up. So we don't want to put too much out there. Sometimes a little flair with a Page of Wands is kind of like saying hi. And sometimes that's all it takes just to get things started. So I like how the Four of Wands is crowning you. It's like you are relationship oriented. You do want the authentic stamp of some sort of relationship. It doesn't have to be marriage. It's how two people define it and or build into it. And you say you want a constructive relationship energy as you understand it in your life. You want to put the work in and you want it reflected back to you. So I appreciate your Nine of Pentacles in your past. That doesn't mean it's over. That just means you have experience with it. So you are experienced in being an independent, I can do Capricorn, right? I know how to take care of myself. I know how to stand on my own 2 feet. I am a strong practitioner of my own arts. I'm quite comfortable. Thank you very much. So again, before we start talking about what we can build and bring to the table someone else, we need to know what we can do first. And you have a lot of credibility behind you as a strong, independent person. Lovely. It's a strong part of who you are, and it's also made you successful. Exiting is a Page of Cups. Now, that's interesting. It's not a lot to work with there, and that's not an insult, so don't take it as one. I will often see serious subjects exiting, okay? For you, a little bit of heart space that's no longer valid, or you no longer feel the same way in some small way, is on the way out. You're showing openness towards something now. So whatever it is you used to feel in some small offhanded way, or you never gave much thought to, that's over. That could have been a tranquil, quiet cup. Okay, and now what's sparked your interest is something that has indeed your interest, and you want to open up towards it. So whatever it is you used to feel, you're telling me you're not worried about it, so neither am I. So that's fine. We'll take that. Excuse me. Six of Pentacles is before you in future. There is a sense of balance, that all is well, and maintaining well in your 3D. Okay. So what's going on with this? I don't know. It still looks like it's introductory, but I can see that at some point we start to bounce with it fairly regularly, a little bit back and forth, okay? It seems to be going well, all right? So let's just be aware of how we're building into this. Is it a friendly thing? Is it a work thing? Or is something actually constructing? All right, so let's be aware of it. Because if you have a relationship on your mind, but what you're producing from it is Six of Pentacles and it's comfortable to you, it's a relationship you recognize, cool. No qualms for me. But if it feels like a little more friendly, a little bit more work-oriented, then it probably is. So just be monitoring that. Be aware of it. All right? That's all. It really depends on what you want to get from this. It looks like I said, you have relationship mind. But from your point of view, building into the relationship might take a Six of Pentacles structure, which would speak very much to your Capricorn nature. Okay? So just be aware. Just be aware of how it's being built. Again, relationship once more is defined by two people. All right? Ace of Swords is in your strengths. You say you honor the truth as best you can every day. Whatever your particular truth is, you abide by it. And you said it's a big part of who you are, that you navigate by your truth and you act upon it too. So Ace of Swords isn't what we just know, right? It's how we act. Can we back up our beliefs? Okay? You say that's your strength. Page of Swords is in your environment. You're open to edits. You're open to inclusions. You're saying you're not too rigid. You want your environment to change. But we're not trying to take it for granted how it's being built either. So you have no strong conclusions. So you are approaching whatever this is with a strong sense of truth and knowledge and what you want to get from it. And the Page of Swords suggesting your environment is shifting and changing, that it's open to suggestion. Okay. And that it's learning as it goes. Okay. Whatever this is, you seem to be comfortable with it. You seem to be comfortable with it. It might be that it's just so early that I'm not seeing much of an emotional set from you, and that's okay. So long as you are abiding by your ideals, and you can honestly say you approve of how this is being structured back and forth between you two, then it's none of my business. Perhaps you two are very practical by nature. There you go. All right. Three of Wands is in the hopes and fears. I agree. Somebody else had this. I don't remember who, and that was a couple and several shuffles ago, so I promise you it's supposed to be there. Three of Wands is in the hopes and fears. I think that's very wise. I want people to have hope. Three of Wands can mean hope, yes. But a lot of times people wrap their hope up in the concept of waiting, which is not good. You know, it's kind of like saying, I hope to have something to hope for. That doesn't mean we're at all engaging in life. Usually the opposite is true. People tend to get stuck in waiting for something to hope for. They're never actually living life. So I know that's a reasonable fear for you, and that's good. That's good, because then that means we're more mindful about hope we should have, okay? And that means I want you to have hope for that which you can actually see is happening in front of you, how it's unfolding for you. It keeps you more present-oriented, and it helps you to keep sight of your goals too. Is this what I'm experiencing with this person? Is this good, or is this not how I'm going? Or I don't want to be stuck in this position of waiting for a false hope either. So hopes and fears, again, not an outcome of anything. Nothing. It's just a reflection of what we tend to more or less hope for and fear for simultaneously, because they usually represent one and the same. So I think it's very wise of you to not peg your sense of happiness on a future hope that's way out there that you can't identify it. Try to live more in the present, which I see you doing with this, and building into it. The outcome is Queen of Cups, so there it is. That now I feel a little more relaxed now seeing, because being someone who is, you know, water oriented, I'm an emotional investor. You being an Earth sign, you're going to be a practical investor first. You know, your sense of love and hope and attraction to this rises the more it meets you where it is, each other about halfway, and that's what you're showing me. So, but still, it's Earth. That doesn't necessarily mean at the end of your construction effort with this person that there's deep love or passion. So it might mean that you're comfortable with it enough to balance an exchange with it. You know, so I didn't know where you were building this. And you're just like, I'm just going to stick to my ideals, see what unfolds. I'm going to be open to shaping my environment differently as this person continues to influence my life and shows up consistently. And I'm like, cool, you're showing me all the standard Earthian traits. But it's like, is there love though, Capricorn? You're like, oh yeah, no, it's not. That's great. That made me relax a little bit more at the outcome there as the Queen of Cups. You're like, oh yeah, no, it's all love. I'm great. It's great. This led up to something. My heart's full towards this. I totally love this. And that's beautiful. I'm very happy for you. So your particular method, your particular process here paid off. So yeah, I mean, whatever it is that you felt before in some small way about yourself or how your life was going, you're like, that's exited. I'm making space for this. And you have done nothing but make space for this, to balance with it fairly, to include it, to let it shape you. Don't allow yourself to have false hope around the construct of it. And in the end, we have a beautiful outcome of you having a full heart space towards it. So you just mapped out a very beautiful, very Earthian, this is how an Earth sign falls in love, thank you very much, kind of process. And I was like, okay, fine, but Capricorn isn't love. And then you're like, yeah, oh yeah, no, totally. That gave me a good chuckle. Let's get some advice, please. And it looks like we just started to crack the lid off that pot, like very, very recently. Just FYI, you're not loud on this at all. I don't know why. I don't mean like I expect you to be loud. What I'm saying is it's unassuming, which I like. That's good. It's enough to get your energy noticed. Just for whatever reason, there seems to be a time frame attached to this person that suggests non-rushed. So it doesn't look very obtrusive on your end, how you're opening up towards this. This is non-rushed, but I can tell you when it does start to meet you halfway, it's because it's choice. Okay? Is there's kind of a known quality in this that says, just know that it's someone who's just associated with being busy all the time. That's all I can say. Okay, that's all I can say. Someone here is known for being busy all the time. It's hard for someone to find the time to spare. So the fact that someone indeed is sparing their time to grow something with you suggests that they're really in it. Okay? Or it's you. I don't quite know. But someone's time is not easily their own. I don't know where that impression's coming from. That would explain perhaps why you're being very flexible and you're not assuming to take shape around this. Okay, I don't know. Two of Wands. King of Pentacles and the Sun. Yeah, this makes us very happy. And you honestly feel that it's a good representation of you. A good decision on your part, good, of knowing your worth. I told you, honey, you have your own experience attached to you. You're quite the catch yourself. All right? Between the two of you, somehow you two are like a powerhouse of energies, but someone seems to always have so little time to spare. But you're showing me this is a decision that's a good reflection of you, your own sense of self-worth. That's why you're bothering to open up and say hello to this at all, to try to get its attention at all, just briefly. But it takes off from there, okay? You said it makes you happy. And it's of your decision and of your free will. You're saying you know a good investment when you see one, and you're saying this one's got the goods, okay? Okay. Someone here don't chase waterfalls anymore. Someone is no longer led by a sense of passion. Now, I don't mean to dismiss passion. I think passion is a perfectly good element. Passion is more than just sex, guys. I have to say that all the time. It's unfortunate. But, you know, for instance, I don't identify life without passion. It's in a lot of what I do. Behind passion is creativity and all these other sources for ambition and light. So that's not what I'm saying here. Someone says they are no longer led on by what turns them on. Perhaps that's a huge emphasis on the division here of building, the practicality of it, and carefully building into this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're saying you don't want to make any more decisions based on big, fiery, intense, passionate feelings. It's like you won't do that anymore. Again, so long as it's used positively, you will get positive results. But if you find that charging into things head first and you're putting too much emphasis on attraction or too much interest on what turns you on, then you're saying those ways are over. That might be that Page of Cups that exited and it's no longer how you feel, is based on how much you desire or drive towards somebody. Okay, we don't do that anymore. You say we make sound decisions based on a sense of self and self-worth, which this I completely agree with. And that means then, by all rights, then you've identified someone as your equal then. That's what you're telling me. So you're saying it's not about attraction and how much I get turned on by it. I don't move to that particular speed anymore. Okay? All right. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with being a passionate person. I just wanted to make sure that that was noted. Okay? All right. But I understand. For some of you, it's interesting there on the split to see that it's like there's a difference between a relationship and possibly lovers. You know, for some people, they can't imagine not having a relationship with someone who isn't a lover. For others of you, it represents a choice between that kind of passionate, intense construct and something that actually takes shape. Some of you, that's the choice it kind of represents. That's fair. A lot of people can't be messing with the lovers because of that intensity and the confusion over the connection. I understand. And some people are very fortunate that they build relationships with their lovers. I know the community is important too, honey. Everybody's been showing me the Ten of Pentacles in the community, and that's wonderful. It's a big part of who you are, but you're still open. Yeah, I strongly felt that you're the masculine. You don't have to be a man. What I'm saying is that I feel the masculine pulling towards something more to enhance the community that has been created, the Ten of Pentacles that has been created. We want to increase our sense of security in the kingdom, if you will. But yeah, someone here is very much driving for a deeper, more intimate connection. But one that's solid, one that's dependable. Yeah, we want it returned. We want our equal here. You get it? Like we want our equal here. Someone who is fastidious and someone who can build just as deeply and intensely as you can. Okay? You guys are equal, honey. You wanted to equal. You guys are equal. Especially if you said you're going to take strong, passionate, sexy drives out of the equation and look at somebody how you would approach yourself, understanding your worth. Then by all rights, you found them. You're connecting to them. And if the goal was to build something, that's what y'all doing. Okay, 39, 28, and 1. Good job. Both of you. We have the letter C, E, Z, and X. Let me go over that again. It was just 4 letters this time, which is wild. C, E, Z, and X. Okay, Capricorn, honey, this was great. Good job, the both of you. Congratulations. I know it just started. It's very tentative, and that's cool. That's some of the best parts. But the way you two start building into it, suggests it means the both to you, and you both have that kind of appreciative sense of, I know what I'm bringing, they know what they're bringing, and that's what makes us equals. We both value the same thing. And of course, there's love in the end, which is beautiful. So that was like, whew, okay, good. All right, Capricorn, honey, I hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Scorpio, welcome to your Thursday check-in. What is love? That one. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Don't. That one. Y'all been listening to that one lately? Oh, it just popped in my head right now. What is love? Yeah, that's a good one. That will still occasionally turn up on my shuffle, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Heck yeah. It's a great song. What's going on, please? Show me, Scorpio. What's going on for Scorpio, please? What's going on? What's going on? Let's see, Scorpio. The Five of Pentacles. Queen of Swords crossing. Crowning the Sun. Okay. King of Pentacles past, exiting. Seven of Pentacles before you. Ten of Wands. Strengths. King of Cups, of course. The Lovers in the environment. Two of Wands, hopes and fears, outcome. Two of Cups. Oh, man, that took a minute. That's it. I'm not trying to laugh at you. It's just, you know, you heard the saying, it gets worse before it gets better. Yeah, that's what this one is, you know. So if it's not yours, don't take it. That's it. You know, check your other placements. This one kind of is what it is. It is what it is, yeah. It was what it was, and it will be what it will be. The Five of Pentacles in the opening, yeah, there's a strong sense of ow, abandonment, broken, hurt. And the Queen of Swords is trying to cross this. It's like trying to give yourself a pep talk. This is how it is. Accept it. Okay, the breakage is what it is. You have all the facts, Scorpio. You understand why this is happening. You understand why this happened. You understand what it's about. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it sucks. I'm not telling you to accept it, Scorpio. What I am saying is look at the facts. And so your facts are trying to challenge the Five of Pentacles. It's like, yes, breakage hurts. Yes, abandonment hurts. But constructively speaking, you're saying I have all the answers I need to handle it and deal with it. And you do. It's just, you know, sometimes it's easy to pull away from the facts and the determination to accept it when you can still feel how it hurts, right? The Five of Pentacles is no easy thing. Typically, I'm used to seeing first Five of Cups. Okay. Scorpio then might be one of your minor placements. It might be a little itty bitty placement in your chart, but it still counts. A stinger is still a stinger. So welcome to the club. But yeah, no, you know, I'm just not feeling Scorpio dominance on this one. And that's okay. It's still strong, and one of your strengths is heart. So I know it counts. It's where it counts, honey. It's where it counts. But regardless, you either resonate or you don't, right? So, you know, my Queen of Thorns, come on. We know the facts. We know what happened. Come on. Deal with the facts. It'll make things easier. And sometimes it does for some people. For other people, it's not a matter of acknowledging the facts, because if it was that simple, we'd be over it by now. You know, it's the hurt. The hurt of the Five of Pentacles. That's something we have to work through. Facts help, but it's not everything. Healing what hurts, that's what really counts, okay? And the Sun is crowning you. You know you have this sense in you that happiness, you know it. You want to feel it. You want to access it. You want to touch that sense of happiness. You know it's there. You know it's available to you. It's like, I know the sun will rise again. I will feel the warmth again. I will feel happiness again. And you know this. You know this is fact too. It's just, you're still dealing with something that hurts. That's all. You're not like this all the time. You can still feel the sun on your face from time to time, and you know that there's more to pull from. You know that there's more to touch, right, in terms of happiness. It's not completely out of your grasp. King of Pentacles is behind you in your past experience. That doesn't mean it's over. That just means you have experience with it, and it's still with you in present day. The King of Pentacles typically are someone who's quite practical. You're very grounded, very resourceful, very responsible. You know, I know you have a good head on your shoulders, and you probably are often in a position of telling yourself, this is how it is. It was just reasonable. It was to be expected. It's rational. It's Five of Pentacles. Things break, and we have to deal with it. We have to learn to let things go. You know that. I mean, you're not stupid. And I like that you can still feel the sun. Generally, you're someone who leans into optimism and sunshine and that sense of, I get to choose to be happy. It's just this element in my life I'm struggling with, that's all. Seven of Pentacles is on the way out. A pathway for you is distinctly over. It was slow growing or stagnant. It didn't add up to much. I don't know what that is to you. You might have a fair amount of earth in your chart, by the way. You showed me you already have a strong sense of investment and responsibility and sense of resourcefulness attached to you. And you're saying something in your life has not proven fruitful. It's very stagnant. There's a difference between carefully watching something grow and hoping that you will get more of it from it, and something is just not taking off. Okay. We're letting a particular pathway go. A way of life, a way of doing things, a way of investing. Stagnant. I don't know. A root in your life in some way withered and died. And that's okay. We don't have to put any more time, energy, and effort into it. And that's not a bad thing. So that's okay. Again, I just see you accepting it more and more. Ten of Wands. At some point in the future, you're going to hit an apex of stress, and I don't know why. I will clarify that directly to see if we can make sense of it. But I just want to reassure you that you're processing something that broke from your life, and it was stagnant, and you accepting it. It's within grasp. You're so close. You're so close. You don't need to put any more time, energy, and effort into it, and that's a good thing. Okay? You no longer have to use your resources to keep a pathway or a way of life together anymore. So in many ways, that should feel like a relief. But with it comes a sense of responsibility. And Ten of Wands, it's hard. It's hard. It is hard putting down this particular bundle or leaving it alone. I don't know. Like I said, we're going to have to directly clarify that because it's coming up for you. It's like an apex of energies. It could be that you're just at the height of exhaustion. I don't know. We'll see. And your strengths, King of Cups. You believe in love. You do. At your heart of hearts. You believe, like most Scorpios do, that if you love what you do, you flourish. Emotional investor at the heart of things. Now, that doesn't mean the King of Cups is the King of Cups is the King of Cups. Now, like the Queen of Cups, they're at the height of their emotional essence. I own what I feel. That's what they do. King of Cups just has a tendency to be a little more quiet. Queen of Cups has that kind of obligation of expression. The King of Cups is like a strong, silent feeler, but still embracing, does not reject what he feels, strongly embraces it, just tends to be a little more quiet. That's all. So I can see that some of you are deep, strong feelers, but you have a tendency to keep to yourself, but it's also a strength. You're like, I feel what I feel, and I feel it deeply, okay? And it's like, so long as I know what I'm investing in through my heart, I will succeed, okay? I believe in me, and I believe in love, okay? It might sound dippy, but it's true. It's a strength, okay? All right, the Lovers in your environment. Well, that's nice. Very. That's lovely. It is lovely. Strong connection in your home environment, or is going to be. I don't know when. With the Lovers being complex as it is, it could be a connection that's already in place and you know who they are and emotionally, spiritually connected to them. Are they physically in your environment? I don't know. I'm actually very curious about that. It looks like it. Perhaps you share a known environment. I don't know, but we're deeply connected to them. I know that you're emotionally invested in them, you know. And they share a place in your heart that feels like home, and that's lovely. The Two of Wands is in your hopes and fears. Am I making good decisions? Am I not? It's not too big of a deal, actually. Two of Wands is not that big a deal. I think your biggest challenge is staying in the present, and that's what you hope to do. When you make decisions, you make them in the present, and that you don't take too long, and that you're not looking to the past or the future to guide you. You make decisions as best you can when you can. So that means you hope you make good ones. I think you are. Two of Cups is in the outcome. I see you very much emotionally balanced with this person. It feels so harmonious. It feels so supportive. That's absolutely gorgeous. That's delicious. So this opening segment, while it is difficult, I promise you, not all is lost, and you know that. It's just one pathway that was hard for you to recognize that it's time to let go of because you got used to investing in it for so long. It's you struggle with to let it go. And it wants to exit of its own accord. So let it, you know? I just think you got so used to practically, rationally investing in this. But it was so discouraging. It was so unpromising. And yet, despite that, you're someone who tends to lean towards happiness and the sun. So I think you showed this, a lot of what you showed it out of optimism, goodwill, and faith for a long period of time, but it didn't necessarily have your heart, did it? This has your heart. This has your sense of obligation. It's almost like I'm looking at two different Scorpios, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. This as a sense of duty, fulfillment. I said I would, so here I am. And this is, I am deeply in love. I love someone specifically the way I love myself. We're equals inside and out. And it's gorgeous. As I said, it's almost like I'm looking at two different Scorpios. One side of you is used to operating out of a sense of practicality and obligation. I think you just got used to contributing to this. I don't know what the heck this is, but I do see you hit apex here with the Ten of Wands, and it gets uncomfortable there. It does. It does. But over here we have emotional richness and fulfillment and equality with somebody. Very strong somebody too. By all rights, it looks like you share the environment with them. Let's take a look at this Ten of Wands specifically. What makes this juncture so difficult? What makes this juncture so difficult? Four of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Six of Cups, because it's something that you've been attached to for a long time, but she doesn't necessarily have your heart. Okay, all you're telling me is that it's hard to let this go. Whatever this is represents an investment that you invested in for a long time because you connected to someone else. But it became a sense of responsibility as opposed to a matter of self-worth. I mean, because whatever this is was self-defeating, so it can't possibly be a quality representation of self-worth. You kept giving this your time, energy, and effort over a long period of time, and you held on to it. Not really for yourself, but for someone else, didn't you? It's a way of life that you don't actually ascribe to personally. It did not fulfill you, and it didn't meet too much in terms of prosperity or growth. You feel obligated to hold on to this via someone else. To continue to contribute to it. And I don't want to do that anymore. And it's hard. It's hard when you get confrontational. This Six of Cups could be a soul bond. I'm reading it more as this is a sense of obligation that you compounded a lot of interest with by continuing to give to it. This could be a way of life that you continued to carry someone else for years because they were a family member, an old friend, an old partner. I don't know. You're like, I can't support that anymore. It does not benefit me. It is not a good representation of my self-worth. I agree. You supported this as long as you have such a strong practical side, but it was part of your way of caring for this, wasn't it? You did your part to try to grow it, but it did nothing for you personally. Not for a while, anyway. Not for a long time. You thought you were maintaining it more for them or their benefit, didn't you? It's going to hit apex because it's hard to let this go, and it's going to be hard to address this. So it's going to reach a height of tension. Okay? It'll reach a height of tension. How you stop contributing to this altogether? Well, first you need to recognize that it's already exiting. You don't want to contribute to it anymore. Eventually you're going to hit that tension wall of I don't want to give to this in terms of time, energy, and effort anymore, and having to address that. And that's hard. That's hard. The actual details, I don't know. That's up to you. Okay? When you're comfortable, I suppose you'll address it more. Six of Wands in reverse, non-ego. Four of Wands, intuitive. Intuitively, yeah, and then your emotions, your intuition kicks back in. When you get out of the practical and you stop contributing Your intuition kicks in. Intuitively, you feel you need to prioritize some sort of relationship, but it's not a matter of ego or triumph here. That was a very interesting point you made. This is not about triumph. This is not about success. This isn't not about a notch on my belt. Intuitively, you're saying there's a relationship in here that needs your attention and is trying to guide you back to it. No, I see that. Wow. This is not a score thing. This is not an agenda thing. This is not a sense of triumph or success or getting recognition. Your intuition's pointing to this. You need strength. It makes you feel strong in your resolve. The world. As one door closes, another opens. I wasn't sure when. I'm still not sure when. But it's going to represent the strength of will or resolve to open, or rather, excuse me, I'm sorry, to close a door. Then we can open another. And move towards it. I guess I'm looking at two different people. This world does not match this one at all. How you approach and invest in this is completely different than how you experience this. It's almost like, what am I struggling to say? It's like, somehow you showed me something that was like more like earth dominant and element dominant, and then you switched over into water. Like, this is much more fitting to you as a Scorpio profile. You're so in tune with it. You're so deeply in love with it. You can stretch the very limits of your heart to accommodate this and live it and love for it. And you say it has nothing to do with ego or scoring points or triumph. It is not about that. Intuitively, I feel this is where my heart is and where it's supposed to be. Yes, no, I completely agree with you. It's going to take you strength of will to approach this, like it's going to take you strength of will to shut this down. And then after that hinge, you open up to this, whatever that is. It's quite beautiful. It's lovely. Oh, this was interesting. Oh, this was so interesting. Oh, my. This was very interesting. Bullwhip, harshness. Harshness, there it is. That harshness. You always felt like you had to drive towards this. Again, it's two different feelings, two different experiences, completely two different. There's the drive, there's the harshness to keep going, to keep going. And then there's the softness, there's the love, the lovers. Once more, the tulips. 9. Do you see the separate 11, 19? I mean, that's not, why did I say that? No, that's 11 and 9, Christina. Toil and labor, working hard. I know, well, if you're going to work hard, honey, if you're going to have a labor, it needs to be a labor of love or a labor of choice. And this really isn't a labor of love, but it was a labor of choice. I understand. So you need to understand what's worth it and where is your compass pointing, essentially your star. Where is it actually pointing in this life? So if you're going to work hard, by golly, you had better have something to show for it and more to feel for it, right? Of course. 3816. I'll get to that. Oh, so many. J, S, K, D, S, and G. S is here twice. We have the Medallion of Capricorn in reverse. Keyword here being ambitious. Somebody here might be very, very ambitious, driven, or just simply, again, works hard. Capricorn season, by the way, which we're still technically in, but almost out of, might have been very, very important this season. We have the 4-leaf clover, symbol of luck, of course, and then we have the Medallion of Cancer in the reverse. The keyword here being imaginative. Some of you might have very strong imaginations, a very strong sense of ambition and drive, or Cancer, Capricorn season might be very important to you. Could be strong representation in your chart or their seasons. Okay, Scorpio, honey, this was very interesting. Like I said, I hope it helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Pisces, welcome to your Thursday check-in. Show me, Pisces. What's going on for Pisces? Okay. Show me, Pisces. Do you know how it is when your afternoon cup of coffee does absolutely nothing for you and you're kind of irritated by that? That's where I'm at right now. It's like, why did I even drink you? You're doing nothing for me. That's me. Let me know if you get it. Knight of Swords. Challenging the devil. Crowning. Judgment. Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Past. The Empress. I think you know what's up. I do. Queen of Wands is on the exit. Before you, the future. Queen of Cups. Yeah. Okay. Four of Swords in their strength. Yeah, good. Good. Eight of Wands is in your environment. Hopes and fears. Two of Pentacles. What to do. And then Queen of Pentacles in the outcome. Okay. I still got someone pulling on you. And they're on the way out the door. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I'm looking at a Pisces, that you're kind of feeling a tug of war. Internally and then externally. Because it looks like you're in between a couple of things. And someone surrounding you is having a hard time taking the exit. And you yourself are trying to show me caution about your own action and decision-making and communications. And it's hard. You're putting into practice several theories at one time, so bless you for that. So Knight of Swords straight away is in your opening. You're like, communication, action. Right, I'm on it. And then the devil's like, hold on. There's a couple things you are aware of. Yours is really interesting today. Judgment's crowning you. So you're experiencing a multitude of emotions and conflicting ideas. There is part of you wants to continue to separate from someone whose energy you say is no good for you, so don't take action towards them anymore. You say you've already had enough habit of that, thank you very much, and you don't want to continue to perpetuate it. You like, let it exit, and it needs to stay exiting. Don't turn around, Pisces. Don't turn around. Don't talk to it. Don't act towards it. Leave it alone. It's no good for me. And there's another part of you that wants to haul ass forward in a different direction, and then you're, because some of you have a tendency, it's not an accusation, don't take it as one, to act too fast. Okay? So the devil, the crossing you, that suggests to me you're already aware of it. Okay? So that's good. Better the devil you know. If you act like or you think that you don't have a devil, that's your devil. Everybody has one. No exceptions. We all have pros and cons. There's that which we are subject to in terms of weakness over and over again. Many of you have already figured out or particularly dialed in your own devil, and that is sometimes you have a tendency to act impulsively. And that includes the stuff you're trying to let go of, and also the kind of stuff that you're trying to engage in. And you're showing me both. Excuse me, bless you. And what's crowning you is judgment. Pisces, you know better. So again, once more, you're Pisces who's like, I know what my devil is thinking, and it's because once you're aware of your devil, you can't become unaware of it. All you can really do is curb the effort. Okay, by becoming aware of it, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's how an unaware Pisces would act, or if this resonates with you, if it doesn't, check your placement. And it's like, but now I know better. I have a tendency to rush in there and say something or do something, and I shouldn't do that. Whether it's the thing trying to exit, I don't know, it's thing, it's a person, whether it's the person trying to exit or a difficult situation, you have to act not impulsively towards it. Because you don't want to say the wrong thing, set the situation off, or make it more angry or intense than it already is. And then you also have to kind of keep your sense of acting too quickly in check as well towards something that you do want to drive towards. So you've had lessons in both, okay? Part of you is real tempted to have a final word with whatever's trying to exit, and then part of you is really tempted to just kind of launch forward into something else. So judgment's crowning you. Be the Empress is in your past experience. You know how to be empowered, be calm, be cool, be in control of yourself. You got this. So the Empress, okay, any of the past cards is past, does not mean it's over. That just means you've had experience with it. You know what it is to be in charge. You know what it is to make empowering decisions. The Empress and Emperor, they are automatically programmed with accountability, okay? That's what makes them such high-ranking people. They have to take accountability for anything that works out and for the things that doesn't. Otherwise, they're not emperor and empresses. Okay? So you know what it is then to sit in your power. Sometimes you have to. Be calm, controlled, steady. I'm not saying be shut off or shut down. What I'm saying is know what's worth your worth. Okay? Don't act or speak impulsively. You know that this is an issue that you sometimes have. Otherwise, you're cool as a cucumber. Okay? You know this. You've had some really strong lessons in it. And some of you, the opposite. Some of you get too shut down. And that's a pattern. You don't fully speak this. Oh, good Lord. Somebody shut that down. And some of you have a pattern of doing the opposite. You shut down too much. You don't speak up enough. Or you don't move forward enough. And that's your own particular devil, the one that holds you back. Okay? So somewhere in between those two concepts, I'm looking at a Pisces that you either speak too fast, too quickly, or act too fast, too quickly. And some of you, the opposite. You become so fearful of what it is you have to say or do that you don't do any of it at all. Don't fall for either. Okay, don't feed the devil. All right. You have lessons in this. Whatever this is that's trying to exit is some sort of Queen of Wands. It might be fiery. It could be just straight up fire sign. Or somebody who's a little bit on the tempery side. I don't know. Someone typically who is passionate, maybe creative. What I'm getting here is temper, because it's kind of tempting you to pull backwards and it's provoking something in you that makes you want to fight. Maybe turn around and say some final words or take some final actions. Refrain. Just refrain. Okay, you get to choose your own level of participation, and ultimately I can't tell you diddly squat. You get to choose, right? Tarot doesn't dictate action, you do. Tarot's a proof of choice, not the absence of it. So I want you to fight the impulse you might have to turn around and look at this. Don't. Keep moving forward. Okay. Queen of Cups is before you in future, something that represents a softened heart space, likely yours, but I also see it connected to someone else, okay? We want to open up towards this, but we don't want to do so impulsively, all right? We also don't want to shut things down out of fear. So if you have something to say and it's a good representation of you, then say it. If you have a good action that's a good representation of you, then act towards it, okay? Again, navigate between saying the wrong thing and doing the wrong thing versus nothing at all, which again is still kind of wrong. If we're not speaking to the truth of our thoughts or our feelings, then something's not right. Okay? I don't want you to shut it down, but I don't want you to be like, blah, blah. Okay? I want you to represent yourself well. So just sit there with your thought and say, what is a good representation of me while I'm trying to communicate and express myself and demonstrate my actions or intentions. Okay? That's it. That's all any of us can do. You got this. You've had your lessons. You're the Empress at the end of all this. Four Swords is in your strengths. That's beautiful. I can see that you deeply appreciate contemplation, reflection, insight, healing, quiet time, and alone time. That's good. We could all do with a little bit more of that, let me tell you. So that's good. It always makes me happy when someone shows me some sort of healing in their strength. That means they understand quiet, they understand reflection, they understand their kind of inner dialogue with the Four Swords specifically. So you know how to listen to yourself. Good. So that might be why some of you struggle to regulate between what it is you really feel you need to say, but it comes out in all the wrong ways, or you have a tendency to say brick up, as the kids would say, and nothing comes out at all. So I want you to regulate, all right? Continue to exercise your Four Swords, because whatever this is softens you considerably, and I want you to be in a position where you feel confident in how you are representing yourself to it, okay? Eight of Wands is in your environment, so I see you talking, okay? I just want you to do so comfortably in a way that you feel this is a good representation. I know it is, okay? Good. So we're talking, we're reflecting. We're talking, we're reflecting. Good. Use those strengths. Go back and forth. Okay, now I'm processing this. We don't need to overdwell on it. Don't pick it apart. Okay? We don't want to do that. Just engage with the conversation that's there. All right. Two of Pentacles is in the hopes and fears. What to do next? 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 Am I doing this right, or am I doing... Again, I can see where you go back and forth and you struggle with this. I can see where sometimes things come out in a rush. And other times where it's like, I wish I had done this thing, or I wish I had said this thing. So sometimes the devil has a strong pattern for some of you in terms of your communications and actions, and it's like, that's not what I meant at all. It's either he's got you saying all the wrong things, or he's not letting you talk at all. And it's showing up in your actions too. With the Two of Pentacles, it's like, what do I do next? What do I do? It's always on your mind, So I want you to calm those thoughts down. All right? Know your worth. Express yourself accordingly. Therefore, act accordingly. Don't worry. Two of Pentacles got in hopes and fears. Ultimately, hopes and fears is just a reflection of who we are. It's a guarantee of nothing. You're showing me you're afraid of doing the wrong thing, but you also hope to do the right thing. Okay? That's everybody. We all struggle with that. We all struggle with it, you know? Listen to the feedback. Incorporate it. Your next steps will be guided. Okay? That's all anybody can do. Queen of Pentacles and the outcome. Again, you have such a strong... I think you lose sight of who the heck you are sometimes. Particularly when it seems like for some of you, communication is like your Achilles heel. You know, as many would say, it's the problem as well as the solution. And that's true. I've often said it. And for some of you, it's just communications just sucks all the time. I hate it. I hate it, Christina. My words never come out right, or they never come out at all. You know, I think that's the mechanics of your mind just kick off so quickly, I think sometimes. It's, guys, go within, have that retreat space, and say, does this feel comfortable to me, these words? Are they a good representation for this moment and what I'm trying to convey? If the answer is yes, then proceed. Okay? Can you honestly say, I honestly said this because this is what I was thinking, this is what I was feeling? And so long as the answer is yes, you're doing just fine. The actions will follow. Okay? And the Queen of Pentacles and the outcome. Yeah, I don't think you understand your own sense of worth here, honey. Sometimes you lose sight of it, and I think you put a lot of importance on words because they always seem like your biggest problem. And it takes away from your sense of accomplishment, doesn't it? I can see that. You know, as someone, honey, I have a lisp, and sometimes that goes into a place of a stutter, you know, and it's involuntary. I've been working through it since childhood, but this is as good as it gets, you know. And other people say they can't hear it until they hear it. That's how much I've worked through it. And I still love communication. And I've been given hell for it all my life. Perhaps out of defiance. You know? I cannot begin to tell you the hell that was my childhood because of communication. And yet I think perhaps out of defiance, because people didn't want to hear my words, it became that much more imperative to me to speak. Whether or not anyone wanted to fucking hear it. You see? There's a silver lining in anything. It just kind of depends. But then I have that defiant streak, which works in my favor. But it can also work in my disfavor, too, if I take it to a weird place. That's what I mean when we all have a devil inside of us, you know. I know how and when and where and how to feed or shut mine off, you know. The way you kind of hate your words, please realize they're going to first and foremost be the representation of your own sense of self-worth, which is very much there, not once but twice. So make your words work for you, not against you. Okay? Learn to revel in them and how it feels good. Because someone, I used talking to somebody and they want to hear what you have to say. They want to hear what you have to say. So stop giving that asshole so much of your energy. Okay? What you think and what you feel, they're yours. They're yours. They're absolutely 100% part of who you are. They're from you. They're the spring of you. You are the spring. You are the well. You are the origin. Own them. You know? Don't be shy. Don't detract. Don't minus it. Don't edit. And you don't need to overly add. Just, is this what I really think? Is this what I really feel? That's it. End of discussion. Okay? What's going on? Let's get some advice, please. You talking? Someone here wants to hear what you have to say. 3 of Wands, 7 of Wands, and a 3 of Pentacles. Oh, yes. We set some strong boundaries here. You're declining friendship with somebody. Constructive something. Constructive attitude, effort. I won't be putting energy into that. You're like, I was hoping things would work out, but they didn't. 3 of Wands, and you're just like, I waited too long, hoping whatever this is would be more cooperative or more friendly, and it never did. It would never ship up or fly right to something. You're like, I'm not going to connect to it anymore. You're very adamant about that. That doesn't mean it doesn't piss you off from time to time. 2 of Cups, Death, 6 of Pentacles. Ooh, thank you. That's a lot more direct. You're like that. I don't love it anymore, and I don't want to balance it anymore. Done, finito. Okay. lack of cooperation. Don't lean on me. Don't look at me for friendship. Don't look at me for emotional support or a balanced system. I'm not going to do it. I told you something if someone's trying to exit, and they might be pitching a fit on the way out the door, but that's just not what you're working through. The Hierophant, Six of Wands, and the Devil. Oh, okay. Whatever this is that's trying to exit, and I suggest you let it, it does represent a devil quality where some of you got used to being fixated a little bit on making things work no matter what. It was feeding a false sense of commitment as well as possibly codependency. So we don't want to keep doing that. Okay? We don't want to keep doing that, especially if this person was aware of where it is that you feel that you flail a little bit. They might have been leaning into that. Codependency typically does. Leaning into our weaknesses in order to activate us to stay and give it whatever the hell it needs. I'm a little bit more interested in what it is you're talking to and a much more calmer, well, more loving place. Let's put it that way. But I suppose you would know, Stress, Nine of Swords. And the King of Swords. It's on your mind. Okay? Look. That's one of the reasons why the devil's pressing on your thoughts. Is you're putting so much fear into, am I going to say the wrong thing or am I not going to say enough of the right? Again, take it back to basics. Pisces, honey. Is what I'm saying a true representation of my thoughts? Yes or no? Is what I'm saying a true representation of my feelings? Yes or no? Done. Okay? Take it to basics. I can tell whatever it is you really want to be understood by whatever it is that's receiving your words. It's not the thing that's exiting that needs to continue on its own particular journey. You even told me that's done. Your days of trying to cooperate with it are done. But over here, it's not being careful to the point of being shut off. It's just, are you allowing yourself to be honest with your words? Okay? And take it from there. It either fits or it doesn't. It's either honest of you or it isn't. Whatever this is doesn't seem to be interested in leaning on your weakness. It wants to talk to you, okay? It doesn't press your buttons like that. It just seems to want honest conversation. That's it. So that's it. That's all you need to know. It feels good. It comes from the heart. Then that's what matters, yeah? All right. Number 26, the Book of Wisdom. And I was saying you're very smart cookies. Yes, I've been studying, hitting the books for years, you know. You might have degrees. You might have accolades out the yin-yang. But, you know, once... Oh, that made me smile. Oh, that hit me. Okay, compass is pointing childlike dependency. It might be that there's children involved or children's part of your future. You may not know that yet. FYI, I'm just putting it out there. The romantic female here, 29, the letter. There's the correspondence. Very long. This one, it made me smile because it's very thorough. It's thorough, and it has all the thoughts and the feelings that we mean to contain and carry and we mean to express to someone else. And there's the thoughtfulness there, the Book of Wisdom. I think you know what it is you want to say. You're not stupid. You're not walking into an unknown situation. Yeah, it's thoughtful. It means a lot to us. It means a lot. Okay, I am saying that one as the recipient, but I don't quite know. It could be you. It's a very long, thoughtful letter. I just be true to yourself, honey. That's all any of us can do. 26, 29, and 27. They're part of your community, maybe. Ten of Pentacles, the Tree of Life. Perhaps you two share roots. Okay. We have the letter C, O, and L. We also have the medallion of Leo. Leo season, for some of you, might be very important. You might have some critical placements in your chart, could be connecting to as well. All right, Pisces, honey, I hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Cancer, welcome to your Thursday check-in. What's going on for Cancer, please? Show me, Cancer. What's going on for Cancer? Okay. Interesting. 4 Cups, crossing, 2, crowning, 9 of Pentacles, and 3 of Wands in the past. Exiting the Four of Swords. Before you, King of Swords. Strengths, Six of Pentacles. Your environment, Two of Wands. Hopes and fears, Knight of Swords. Outcome is the Knight of Wands. I see your energy picking up there towards the end, which is good. That makes me feel better about what I'm saying here. It seems you're at an emotional crossroads with somebody. And by that I mean it's like you're on the... Oh, I put everything so far to the right. I'm left-handed. Usually I go too far to the left. You know, I see you at an emotional crossroads with somebody. It's currently in a position of unhappy. You're aware of it. You're not unaware of it. You're not in denial about it at all. That doesn't make things any easier, as we see. But you are aware of it, so I'll give you that. A lot of people like to stay in denialsville when we talk about, I don't know if my feelings are the same anymore. And then they'll shove that shit. You know what? I don't think I saw the moon for one person. I did not. Oh. I need to give people more credit then, because usually I see crap like that under the moon. Like, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to discuss it. I want you to keep that far away. Go away. No. I don't want to... No. That's an uncomfortable subject for a lot of people. So the fact that you and possibly both of you are aware of your emotional disharmony, once more, this may not be a romantic partner, but if it is, you would know. And if it's like something you have with a family member or friend, you would know that too. I'm just seeing a lot of emotion here, and you can have that between anybody with the Two of Cups. It's not necessarily intimate, okay? Like an intimate relationship. But these two people are upset. They're both aware of it, I believe. But at least you are. I know you are. You're unhappy, and it's very present. The Four of Cups is very present. It's very fresh. It's right there in your opening. Two of Cups is challenging. We're not on the same page. We are not on the same page in feeling. Not so much these days, and it's been a while. Nine of Pentacles is crowning you. Sometimes you really feel like you just want to be yourself on your own. And distance yourself from this. It's like, if I can't be on the same page with you, I should be on my own. Now, whether or not you have completed that thought, i.e. reality, I don't know. But I don't blame you then if 2 and 4 are equal division, by the way. But since it's challenging, it suggests at least you know. The other person might still be in denial about it or not aware of it like you are. I don't quite know. But it's kind of like, if I'm going to be off page with somebody all the time, emotionally dysregulated with you all the time, we never feel the same about each other. I don't feel good about you. I don't feel good about us. Frankly, I'm upset. I'm unhappy with you or us. I feel like I should be on my own. Nine of Pentacles. It's not like you have a problem with the theory. In fact, it's been on your mind. Nine of Pentacles. Maybe you should separate yourself from this. That's not me. That's the cards. That's what's here. I'm reading what's here, not what isn't. So this has either been in your mind and on your energy, or it hasn't. If it hasn't, it's not your reading. Don't worry about it. Okay? Check your other placements. This one's either yours or it's not. And I understand when you're that disharmonized with somebody, and it's not a secret to at least you, you're going to have that thought, maybe I should just separate myself from this. I'm not afraid of being alone, nor should you. Right? It's really hard to understand what you can bring to the table if you don't know who you are as a person. So you should always understand who you are as an individual first, your own strengths, you know? And I can see that you have been on your own before. You know how to stand on your own. You know how to build your own coin. You know how to build your own garden. Excuse the background noise, it's pickup day. So the thought doesn't frighten you. In fact, part of you rises to it. I'd rather be on my own than continue to stay in this and feel this way towards you. It does feel like you're falling out of love, maybe for some of you, but for others of you, it's simply really bad emotional dysregulation. Okay. Three of Wands is in the past. That doesn't mean it's over. That means you have experience with it. You have experience with waiting. You know, and waiting on love, waiting for things to get better. Here's the problem with waiting. Three of Wands has hope built into it. So a lot of people will get caught up in what I'm seeing for you. Hope. That means waiting for things to get better. It's no guarantee that they will, but it's a vague sort of idea that if we keep looking towards the horizon, i.e. the future, things will miraculously get better without working on present day. So a lot of people fall prey to a hope of a future without doing any work in the present. Do you see how that's a trap and why I'm not a big fan of waiting? Okay. Waiting suggests exactly what it sounds like. There's this idea of hope for the future, but we're not doing anything in the present to guarantee a hopeful future. And I can see that many of you are familiar with this construct. Four of Swords, this makes me a little bit... Four of Swords is exiting that sense of healing. This is exiting a little more every day. Now, maybe it's supposed to, regardless of how I think about it. My opinion really doesn't count at the end of the day. I'm just the tarot lady. I record this shit and then I turn it off. Real talk. So once more, tarot does not dictate action, you do. But the fact that the window on this is closing for healing, specifically your inclination to heal it, is closing. Maybe you want it to close. Maybe you want it to be a little too late. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't want them to understand what you understand. Maybe you don't want them to recognize it, because then they might be compelled to fix it, and I don't know that you want to. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to be mean with you, honey. I want to point out what should be pointed out. We're very much off this page with this person. The love's in jeopardy. You've been thinking about it might be better on my own then, and I have too much experience with waiting and no results back here in the past. Nobody likes that, especially when they figure it out. At the time when you're in love, or you strongly believe in that family member or that friendship, it makes sense to wait and hope things smooth out when you're in it. But if so much time has passed and it's like same shit, different day, yeah, the Four of Swords in the exit position, or any healing concept in the exit position, the window for closing this, fixing it, healing it, is shrinking every day. Before in the future, King of Swords, decision time, acknowledgement, open communication, action, determination, something. But I will say this, it's focus. We'll take some focus. Especially if we're starting to feel that our ability to heal this is getting further and further away from us, just like that sense of waiting around and hoping things will get better. We can no longer bank on that particular construct or that delusion, and more often than not, it's a delusion, but it's one based on hope, and hope is such a catch-22 with humans. It's something we are hardwired to do, is to hope, but at the same time, it seems to chip away at us too. Anyway, I could write a whole fucking book on hope. Yeah, because I've studied it so extensively, and how it can really make or break our existence as human beings. And I mean that in very real terms. And if you've ever been through the hope construct and waiting is something worth waiting for, you know what I mean. It can be the joyest of the joys or the lowest of the lows. And hope is such a curious element to the human existence. So in future, while I understand, and that kind of is marking for me the point of no return right here, when we acknowledge we no longer maybe are inclined to fix this, and we haven't in a long time. Am I disagreeable to seeing some focus in the future? No. Your focus will help you in some way. You will have some strong insight, determination, or some sort of decision for yourself in the future. All right, that's going to help you out. Six of Pentacles is in your strengths. You say it's your strength. It's in your wheelhouse, if you will, to balance things. You're pro at it. Everyday realities are normal for you. I can balance here, I can balance there, I can balance anywhere. And Six of Pentacles is everyday to our given existence, guys. It's not just work. It's anything that we have a pre-existing construct with, that we give something and we take something. It's back and forth. It's meant to be of benefit to whatever it is that you are connecting to. And you get a little profit out of it, maybe. You're saying balance is good. You know how to balance. You pride balancing, okay? It's not just breadcrumbing as a negative. It is also that sense of, I know how to give and take and equal, okay? You pride your balances. Again, that tells me if you could have balanced this, if it had been returned to you, if the same notion, configuration had been there, you would have responded to it, no? Stands to reason. 2 + 2, yeah? Two of Wands is in your environment. You're looking at your environment now. It's very active, which is good. The Two of Wands is active decision-making, so it suggests present orientation. At some point in the future, you're going to look at your environment like so. And it's going to start informing you about where you are. And do you want to be there? And what could another environment look like for you? One where you stand on your own, or you continue to stay in this? And that's what that's going to look like. Okay? Knight of Swords in your hopes and fears. Am I taking action and or communicating effectively or correctly? Okay. Very normal. I would even say healthy. Hopes and fears, we are all very concerned at some point with how we are connecting and conveying our own interests and our thoughts and our ideas. And the Knight of Swords is ascribed to all those things. Thoughts, ideas, actions, thoughts, ideas, actions. You hope that you are conveying your thoughts, ideas, and actions correctly. So that point of focus for you is going to be so critical, because it's going to show up in your hopes and fears. You hope you made the right decision. You hope you made the right action. You hope that your intent, your communication is coming Excuse me, speaking of which, coming across clearly, I had a strong talk with Pisces about, words, and some of them absolutely hated their words because it was always coming out wrong ways, or they were always suppressing it. And it's like, let me tell you, it's all the more reason, my lisp/stutter is not going to stop me. It's not. All I can do is stop, correct myself, and continue on. And that's it, I'm not saying you have a lisp or a stutter, or if you do, let me know. Shout out to you. The point is at some point it always crosses our mind. Am I speaking and acting to the best of my abilities? Okay? Only you can decide that. And you will know. Because it's either A, going to be correct for you, or B, it isn't. But I think you're going to be okay. The Knight of Wands is in your outcome. You're going to have an energy spike right there towards the end. Why? I don't know. But it's an oomph. It's a nerve. It's a kind of fire-pressing energy that's going to encourage you forward. Okay? All right, let's get some advice, please. Again, I'm not saying anything that's finalized here, but saying that it is a point of no return. Okay. But some of you say you take strength in balancing. You might find a way to peacefully balance with this. But you no longer keep yourself in a position of waiting to harmonize with it, Let's get some advice, please. Let's get some advice, please. Strength. Knights of Cups and the Five of Wands. Gosh. It feels like all your vulnerability is rejected. That's the ongoing point here. Does someone see your emotional expression, your point of vulnerability as a threat? They don't want to hear it, so they shut it down. When you try to be open and honest, somebody's like, I don't want to hear it, or I don't feel that way, or I don't want to see what the problem is, or shut up, or, men don't cry, or some crap like that. It's like, which pisses me off, by the way. Are you a human being? You have tear ducts. You're going to cry. I don't care what your sexual assignment is or what gender you identify. You're a human being. You're eventually going to cry. I don't care what the motivation is. The point is that someone's vulnerability is rejected. It takes them It's pickup day. It's pickup day. It's pickup day. Sorry. I hear it. You may not. This is a much better microphone than the ones of the past. But anyway, I have to remind myself, it's pickup day, and you knew that. Strength. So it takes takes a great deal of strength to open up, to be vulnerable. And it's not just romanticism, guys. It's I feel this, and it's hard for me to say it, and then it gets shot down. It gets rejected, or they argue with you about your own feelings. Oh, doesn't that just piss you off? The Four Cup. You don't feel that way. Oh, excuse me? Did you just tell me how I feel? I'm trying to open. Do you have any idea how hard it was for me to open up to you about this subject? And then all I get from you is, or you don't have time for this? How about you make time for this? You said it's important, yeah? Yeah, it's no wonder you're getting past that point of no return. It's hard, guys. It's so hard, especially if your most vulnerable self, you have a lot of knights attached to you. Some of you have some... God, some of you guys are always out there on foot or in the car. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of movements attached to you naturally, and that's fine. Just thought I'd point it out. Strength and knights. Some of you it takes you strength of will to open up, so sometimes you find it easier just to suppress it because you don't want your emotions to be rejected. So it's like it takes you forever and a day to open up, and when you do, you wished you hadn't. Oh, doesn't that just piss you off? Oh, no wonder you're upset. You ever say, I feel this way, and someone's like, no, you don't. What? What did you just say I'm not feeling after I got done telling you this is how I feel? You want to run that by me again, Chief? We don't do that. I don't play that game. Told you how I felt. Ooh. And you might as well. Okay. I did see an energy spike for you in your outcome, but it's not for the foundation. Oh my. Some of you, again, once more, I'm not telling you what to do. I have to admit, when I see readings that are teetering on one side of the story, but I don't see a completion, I'm always curious. Because I really don't like readings that are like, well, I probably know what I should do, but I'm going to twiddle my thumbs on that for a while. And I don't like it when people are like, well, this really sucks, but I don't know what else to do, so I guess I do nothing. Those piss me off too. It is what it is, and people are going to reflect me the realness of their lives. But for some of you, you will make a distinct decision to not put any more energy into this. But that also means you get to free up a lot more energy for yourself. Yeah, some of you, you'll be closing this out. I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not saying it's going to be done overnight. What I am saying is that some of you are going to take initiative in that direction. There you go. It depends. I mean, guys, honey, when I see two people here, and one is advancedly aware of the problem, and the other one is very much unaware of it, we've been starting to think I'd be better on our own. Our desire to fix this is starting to wane a little more every day. Someone gains sharp clarity. Yeah, it's going to start heading in a particular direction. It's not instantaneous. I have no idea when. The Book of Wisdom suggests you know better, at least. A little bit of luck. The four-leaf clover. Oh, bad health. For some of you, yeah, there's a health issue here that with a little bit of luck and a little bit knowledge and insight and treating here with the Book of Wisdom, we have some improvement of health, and then we'll get our energy back. Okay? Okay. All right. And it's like wandering around in a maze that has no center and no prize. Okay. Okay. We need a little bit of luck when it comes to our health, though, but it's based on wisdom. So we're getting treatment for this based on knowledge. Timing's at play here as well. Okay. Number 26, 2, 31, and 43. Some of you wonder if this situation has put you in bad health. If you have to ask, we have the letters A, F, and Q. And then we have the medallion of Scorpio. Some of you might have some very critical Scorpio in your chart. Okay, could be connecting to, and then the season of might have been important as well. Okay. I don't know. I don't know why I got this. Some of you have a wee piece of Scorpio in your chart, just a wee piece, just a little bit. It's not a lot, but it's that one that gives you an edge on it. That made me chuckle because I saw it was such a teeny tiny little guy in my hand, in my mind's eye. It's a little tiny scorpion like this, and and it's like it's such a small piece. Oh, but honey, it can make a difference. Okay. Anyway, that's for some of you. FAQ, the facts, frequently asked questions, obviously. FAQ. Frequently asked questions. Anyway, sorry. Is a frequently asked questions something that somebody here referred to or used to refer to? Where did it go? I don't know. Perhaps one day you will find it. I don't know where that came from. I saw FAQ and then I saw a question behind it. So, frequently asked questions. Where did it go? I don't know. Maybe one day you will find it or it will come back to you. Cancer, honey, I do hope this one helped you. It was intriguing. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well.